Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to another episode of The Great Ace Attorney. I'm so excited. I've been sitting here just like dancing to the music, and I've been busy playing other games and reading books that I haven't had time to play this, and I've had a couple migraines this week. But I had a migraine this morning and it went away, so I was like, if my migraine goes away, I'm gonna play Ace Attorney. Because also, hi Princess with Wolves, welcome back. I'm so excited because last time Gregson was killed. Van Zieks was accused of murdering him. Kazuma's gonna be the prosecutor. So many things. Oh, so many shenanigans. I'm so excited. I was gonna say it's been a while since a game made me this excited, but it's because I don't play many story-based games like this. Alright. I love the trials too. I was talking to Christian before this and I was saying how the investigations are kind of eerie and like scary sometimes for me. And I just love the trial so much. I love trying to find the lies and presenting evidence. Alright. There's that old familiar feeling again. The crushing pressure of this historic courthouse. Actually, no. It's a little different today. There's an even more menacing tension in the air. There's a menacing tension in the air here today, isn't there, I suppose? Yes, I think so. She can read my mind, for sure. Van Zieks? It can only be the result of the menacing appearance of the defendant. A little more courtesy, if you please. Oh my, I do apologize. However, you're certainly not mistaken that this trial is far from ordinary. What do you mean? I'm sorry, I'm just so excited to see him in the courtroom. Oh my god. Why does this scare me every time?
It do be lawyering time.
It do be lawyering time. Thank you so much for the sub and for the jump scare. Oh my gosh. Oh, thank you for the prime actually. For 5 months. Thank you, thank you. I need to turn down my alerts maybe. Because they scare me so bad. But yes, Van Zieks. He's not going to be the prosecutor, and that's so exciting. Because he's really mean when he's the prosecutor, so maybe he's going to be different. I don't know. I'm really excited if you can't tell. I'm not privy to the details, however. I understand that no jury has been selected. A trial without a jury? Well, that's just like the trial of the professor 10 years ago. How's everyone doing? I know I'm doing well. Had a migraine this morning and it went away. So I'm feeling pretty good. A closed court. Again, I always forget that I put him in this outfit. But yeah, how are you doing, Merlin? How's it going? Oh! Wait, Merlin, are you the one who is talking? I'm going into my Discord. Were you talking about... Yeah, the tornado? Is everything okay? I hope everything's okay. What happened about the tornado? Before I talk to Mr. Sholmes, I must know. Yeah, I think I saw in the news that it was pretty bad. Or I think it was Ottawa and Quebec. Oh, I didn't hear where you were. That's good. That's close. Okay, I'm glad you're okay. Glad the cat is okay. Hopefully everyone who did get hit by it is okay. That's so scary. Alright, Mr. Sholmes. Have you made note of my hair? Oh yeah, he got it back to its original color. An outright victory for science, you must agree. To be perfectly honest, so much happened yesterday that, well, I completely forgot about your little hair problem. So much has happened in between now and last week that I forgot as well. Hi, Epic Pikachu! Are you ready for the trial today? I'm so excited. What to one man is a little hair problem is to another a day of drinking dubious poison after dubious poison. Their shed just flew away. Oh no. You have no idea how my stomach ails me this morning. Oh dear, how awful for you. I'm afraid you only have yourself to blame, Mr. Schultz. And good morning to you, Mr. Reaper. I'm delighted to see you looking so full of vim. Barbenheimer? What's that? A wild Pikachu has appeared. A wild epic Pikachu has appeared. And I see London's celebrated great detective is as active as ever. Oh, you exaggerate, my dear fellow. Compared to my paltry engagements with a few trivial cases, the Reaper's overbearing presence is a far greater deterrent to the black roots of crime in our capital. Oh, nice! I would love to do that, but unfortunately, Christian's not gonna watch Barbie with me. So I think I'm gonna go with his cousin. They're not actually cousins. And then we're gonna see Oppenheimer tomorrow. Yeah. So yeah, I'm very excited. So many good movies all at once. Don't try to catch me. Is it because the two movies are so polar opposite and that's why people think it's funny that they want to watch it on the same day? Oh, that is exciting. Yeah, juxtaposition, probably. It's funny. I love it. And whilst I might not agree with your methods, there is at least one point on which I would readily commend you. What an honor. And that would be your eye for a good lawyer, sir. He's like, I got stuck with this guy. No one else wanted to take me on as a client. They're opposite and releasing on the same day, yeah. After all, being behind this lawyer there is a very... Oh, wait, what? Oh, behind this lawyer there is a very great mind, my own. What are you trying to say? I wish only to say that you should be prepared for quite a trial, Mr. Reaper. Sorry to barge in. Gina! Oh, she's got a badge on her arm. Oh, a mourning band. Oh. Father, shouldn't you be at the symposium? It's been postponed, so I have some free time. Watching Oppenheimer first, Barbie second. That is a good idea. A tale of Oppenheimer finding love with Barbie after creating the atomic bomb. Oh my. No, I'm excited for both movies. I am very excited. Now I kind of wish I was seeing them on the same day. It's been a while though since like a good movie came out in theaters. I think the last movie we saw in theaters was the Dungeons and Dragons movie. And then we went with our like little D&D squad, so that was really fun. But that was quite a while ago. I think it was winter. So it's been a couple months. I decided to come along with the police inspector to see our country's up-and-coming student in action. That's me. Or Kazuma too. I should be very interested to see the fruits of your studies over the past year. Well, it's an honor to have you here. Let's hope there are some fruits to see. With no jury. That's gonna be different. Oh no. Yes, Gina? Why'd you agree to this, eh? Why'd you take him on? Last I saw, I was like, nope. For, like, movies? The Reaper bloke. Everyone says it was him that killed the boss. Oh, is that the name of a movie? I haven't, or I might have heard of that one. A bench trial? Is that when there's no jury? It's interesting because all the cases that we played in this game have had a jury except for the ones that are in Japan. Exciting. I kind of like the jury aspect though. It's fun to hear the different reasons why people think someone's guilty, and then I like pitting them against each other. It's so fun. I'm sorry, Gina, but I just don't believe that. Well, if it weren't him, who was it? I don't know that yet. I have a suspicion. I don't care who calls him what. The Reaper's just a name. He's just a person at the end of the day. And if it turns out it was him that killed the boss, then God help him. Don't mess with Ginny. Fiery eyes indeed. Yes, the culprit deserves every ounce of your loathing. Eh? At least, that may be some solace to the deceased. Oh, Gina! She's gonna make me cry. Please, Odo. Oh, the judge makes the sole decision. Gotcha. Get whoever did this for the boss. Gina. Oh, Gina. Oh my goodness. I hate feeling this useless, but there's nothing I can do. You've gotta find who done this and make the wretch pay. She got so close. Counsel for the defense and the defendant. Court will be in session shortly. Make your way to the courtroom at once, please. Alright then, here we go. It's time, Mr. Norono. Lord Van Zieks. We're a little team. One who lost his treasured brother to a mass murderer. One who lost his treasured father in a foreign court of law. And one who lost the man who helped her escape destitution. All that misfortune, all that pain, on course to collide headlong in this trial. It's time to shine a light on all these dark events. And whatever truth is revealed, we're going to have to look it straight in the eye. Okay. I'm so excited too! Oh my goodness! It's gonna be fun. I have a feeling this one's gonna be long. That's why I'm streaming a bit earlier today. We also have to drive pretty far tomorrow and have to wake up early tomorrow, so we'll see how long this takes. I know the last case was pretty tricky. I got stuck in a couple spots. In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby declare this court to be in session. We are here to conduct the fair and just trial of the defendant, Baroque Van Zieks. Counsels for the defense and prosecution, are you ready to begin? The defense is ready, my lord. His hair! The prosecution is more than ready. Oh, Kazuma-sama! I've been wishing to see you in court again for so long, it feels. But I never pictured it happening like this. I never thought I'd be facing you behind the prosecution's bench. The so-called Reaper of the Bailey has been a scourge like no other, undermining Her Majesty's justice system. Today, we must uncover the truth behind this. I feel like I'm saying that wrong. Scourge? In other words, this trial is going to be a lot more far-reaching than Inspector Gregson's murder. It always is. The truths revealed by these proceedings may have unpredictable repercussions through the judiciary. Accordingly, they are to be conducted as a closed trial, with no members of the public present. So, instead of getting actual experienced lawyers, there's like 2 children basically running this. I'm concerned. How old is my character? I'm probably the same age as Kazuma. So, okay, 24. And Susato? 16? And Sholmes. And maybe Iris. Fish and chips! Okay, I was saying it correct. Nice. Yeah, when I was clipping my reaction to Gregson's death, I was laughing so hard at the chat because I think I forget who. Someone was like, not the fish and chips! Oh, too good. By Her Majesty's direct orders. How will that work, my lord? The burden of all arbitration and adjudication falls on my shoulders. Therefore, as you will see, that's so eerie, having no one there. The juror's bench shall remain vacant today. If no members of the public are present, might I ask who is currently occupying the gallery, my lord? Oh, yeah. They are members of the judiciary, here to witness proceedings and ensure an equitable trial. Members of the judiciary. Oh my, this is a very unusual trial already. There is, of course, another unprecedented aspect to these proceedings on which I must elaborate. The counsels for the prosecution and the defense are both... I don't want to say that. Wait. Oh, yes, he's talking about us. I believe it takes an outsider to see the truth sometimes. And as I stand here in this courtroom now, I'm quite certain. This is the reason why I had to come to Britain. Kazuma? Very well. Let us commence proceedings. Prosecutor Asagi, your opening statement, if you please. Certainly, my lord. The incident took place on the 1st of November at just after 5 o'clock in the afternoon. The location was a building of flats on Frenzo Street on the outskirts of the city. The victim's body was discovered there in an old single-room rental property. Yes, Inspector Tobias Gregson. A name known very well indeed to this court. Not least for his miraculous resolution of one of this country's grimmest cases 10 years ago. The Professor case. How sure are you about the time of the incident? Several witnesses on the street outside heard the gunshot, and all have reported the same time. Yes, that's what Gina told us too. There were a number of witnesses. I have here a plan of the room. The victim was found curled up in one corner. It's believed that he was shot from the front at point-blank range and died instantly. What does point-blank range mean? I don't know. How has the range been determined? There were scorch marks around the entry wound. Such marks are caused by the gunpowder used to fire the bullet. Oh, okay. Gotcha. Very close physically. Okay. But powder hot enough to leave scorch marks is only ejected a few inches beyond the end of the barrel. In other words, it only happens when the target is at point-blank range. I see, yes. Thank you for the detailed explanation, Counsel. Okay, good to know, good to know. The murder weapon was found lying beside the victim. And have you managed to ascertain the owner of this firearm? No, my lord. No, not conclusively. Bravo, Kazuma-sama, for not trying to use the gun as evidence when its provenance can't be proven. Furthermore, my lord, as I've explained, the revolver was fired at extremely close range. Close enough to be able to hit your target without needing to worry about bullet drop. Okay. Got it. That's a little scary. Who would do that to Gregson? The bullet passed through the victim and struck the wall behind him. There's a candelabrum mounted on that wall, and the tip of one of the candles in it was found to have been blown off by the projectile, but it was so high up. We noticed that too, didn't we? Yes, that's right. But was there any bullet found? Like that, I'm so confused about that. Are there any fish and chips vendors he owed money to? I feel like Gregson would be the kind of guy to pay for his fish and chips every time. Yeah. Oh, that's so scary, Epic Pikachu. Oh my gosh. Ugh, gives me chills. Thank you for the thorough report. The setting on the crime is clear to me. You will submit the plan of the crime scene as evidence, please. As you wish, my lord. Is this Frenzo Street room Inspector Gregson's private abode? No, my lord. The room is rented to a Mr. Hugh Boone. Hugh Boone? Hugh Boone? Is that like a clue to something? I don't know. But there's precious little furniture inside, and it is generally in a poor state of repair. So what on earth was Gregson even doing there? Presumably, he was investigating some case or other. When a policeman was informed of the gunshot from the witnesses and rushed to the scene, he found only the deceased inspector and the accused standing alongside, holding the revolver. That doesn't look good. The attending officer arrested the accused on the spot. So, the details of the case are clear. In that case, the prosecution would like to call its first witness. A name, please, counsel. Is it going to be the cop? Oh, okay. Naturally, the accused himself. Lord Van Zieks? As a prosecutor, he believes in the oath of office he's taken, and will be compelled to tell the truth. Okay. Exactly, don't pick up the gun. Very well, let the defendant take the witness stand. He looks so different on the witness stand. It's so strange. So, witness, state your name and occupation for the court. Baroque Van Zieks, Old Bailey prosecutor. I presume, Lord Van Zieks, that you heard Prosecutor Asagi's opening... I don't know what that word is. I'm assuming opening remarks. I did. It is alleged that you were found at the scene of the crime, and that you were arrested by the arriving police officer. Can you confirm this? Yes, my lord. Then I'm sure the court would like to hear you explain some things away. Namely, why you were there in the room on Frenzo Street at the time in question, and what exactly took place. I intend to explain away nothing. I will simply tell the truth. I must say, Lord Van Zieks, I never imagined this day would come. Or rather, I didn't want to imagine it would come, but since you became known as the Reaper, a part of me has been dreading it. Your formal testimony then, witness. Van Zieks, why are you testifying against yourself? Oh, well, we'll see what he says. I was investigating Gregson, and my inquiries had led me to that address. Why were you investigating him? When I first entered the room that day, it was dark inside and I saw no one. A moment later, I heard the gunshot. I spun around and saw the revolver on the floor. Just as I picked... Why? Oh no. Just as I picked the firearm up to examine it, the door flew open and I heard a man scream. It was only then that the body of Inspector Gregson appeared before me. Okay. Why were you investigating him? That testimony was the whole truth? It was. So, you heard a shot being fired in a room with no living occupants. And moments later, a corpse somehow appeared before your eyes. Is that it? You're right, you haven't explained away anything. In fact, that would barely qualify as an excuse. I thought you were my mute apprentice. Yet, it turns out you have a way with words, Prosecutor Asagi. Granted, this is under British law, not the US, so he doesn't have Miranda rights. What is that? What does that mean? It would appear to be a singular tale indeed. Is that the thing where you're not allowed to testify against yourself? Maybe? Singular isn't the word, it's laughable. What's got into Kazuma? He's not behaving like himself at all. Very well then. Counsel, you may begin your cross-examination. Yes, my lord? I want to press him on the very first statement. I need to know why he was investigating him.
Hold it!
You were investigating the inspector? What on earth for? I'm not at liberty to say, no. No! Unidentified a distinct possibility that Gregson was involved in a case I was investigating. Regrettably, though, he was killed before I could secure the proof I needed. Is the court to understand, then, that on the day in question you followed the victim to the scene? No, I was privy to his movements in advance. How? I stole into his office in the yard and consulted his diary. Okay. The address on Frenzo Street was noted in the 5 p.m. entry. You illegally entered the man's office? In Japan, that alone would constitute a very serious offense. Oh, I see. They have to read as they arrest you. Oh. Interesting. Gotcha. As it does in Great Britain, I assure you. Is that not the case, Lord Van Zieks? I was aware of the possible consequences. So, in summary, you were investigating the victim, and yet you refused to tell the court why. Didn't realize British prosecutors enjoyed such freedom to choose what to divulge under oath. Why did I ever think I could defend this man? Okay, before I press on anything else, I need a refresher on what items we have. So we have my armband, the Red-Headed League article, a photograph of Mr. Vigil, who I think did this, a letter of introduction, dismissal notice, photograph of Mrs. Vigil, a red hairpiece. I haven't examined this. Ooh. Ooh, I don't like this. Okay. Oh, right, okay. I've always wondered what the other side of a hairpiece looks like. That doesn't surprise me at all, Mr. Norono. You always want to see what lies beneath, don't you? I'm not sure that's quite how I'd put it. You must have to use lots of bird lime to keep it in place on your head, so it doesn't get blown off in a gust of wind, I mean. That might be a little inconvenient when you wanted to take it off again, don't you think? I don't see anything else to look at. Ooh. I want to look at this again, because it just seems really weird. And I already examined that. Okay. Okay, yeah. I feel like in every single cop movie, they always say that. Okay. We have the gun, we have a random key thing. I feel like this might have been the key that opened... Actually, I don't know. That opened the what's it called? The wax figure helmet that we saw in the last case. Okay. Maybe I should read this. Coroner Maria Gory. Victim, Tobias Gregson, 45, British, time of death. Oh, time of death is blank. I guess we don't know. Cause of death, victim was shot in the chest, which I don't think is high enough to hit the candle. At a close range, resulting in instant death. Scorch marks at point of entry. The bullet exited the body from behind. Okay. The caliber of the gun used matches that of standard issue firearms for members of the judiciary. Fun. Okay. And we have this photo. They're so cute in this. Except Gregson's hairline is already receding. He doesn't look like he's aged at all. I think I've already examined this. Okay. Chief Warder Daily Vigil is relieved of his post with immediate effect for have violated Clause 132 of Her Majesty's Code of Conduct for Prisons. All rights to redundancy pay and other financial benefits are fully revoked. I don't think I read this yet. Reason, abiding and abetting the escape. What? From this prison of convict just prior to his execution. Details of the escape are still being investigated. Oh. Details of this escape. What? Full cooperation with inquiries will be expected. Indications are that the jailbreak plot was conceived prior to the convict's incarceration. It's believed that the convict engaged in some form of negotiation with prison staff in order to secure assistance. Full disclosure of information regarding these negotiations will be demanded. Okay. I am glad I read that. Interesting. Okay. Alright, I think I read everything I need. It was dark inside. Maybe I might show the candlestick, because wouldn't that have been lit? Maybe? Hear the gunshot. Saw it on the ground. Oh. Okay. The door flew open. It appeared. Oops. Okay. Do you have any thoughts? Yes, mainly that it really doesn't ring true in all sorts of ways. Who fired the gun if there's nobody else there? And how did the corpse just appear in front of him? So you think Lord Van Zieks is lying? No, I don't think that. I mean, if he was gonna lie, I would expect him to have come up with a more credible story, wouldn't you? Yes, I completely agree. I think he genuinely doesn't know what really happened himself. So we must do what we can to fill in the gaps. Yes, first and foremost, we need more information. Okay, sounds like I will have to be pressing.
Hold it!
Have you ever been to the address before? Oh, a man was arrested, not informed of his rights. He talked and said things that incriminated him. Oh. After a legal battle, the requirement to read a suspect their rights was put in place and named after him. I feel like... I was gonna say I feel like I've heard that before, but I don't know if I have. Very interesting. I always learn so much when I stream this game. No, never. I only learned to the place as a result of my investigations into Gregson's activities. There was no light inside when I entered, so it was all but impossible to make out anything. but at 5 p.m. the sun would only have just gone down. It would still have been reasonably light outside. The room has a window, but it was boarded shut. Very little light found its way into the room from inside, so it was extremely murky inside. I wouldn't have noticed if the victim was already lying on the floor. Maybe. There was no artificial light in the room, you say? You're quite sure? I'm quite sure that the part of the room where the body was found was very dark. I have a feeling there was a small oil lamp burning on the desk, though I couldn't say for certain. Look, Mr. Naruto. There is. There is a small desk in the room just here. Yes, I remember, and there was an oil lamp on it, as well as the framed photograph. When I entered the room, I closed the door behind me and started toward the desk to investigate. And what did you find? Nothing. I never actually reached the desk. Okay.
Hold it!
So, who fired the gun? I have no idea. I didn't see anybody else in the room. But you say it was very dark in there. Yes, that's right. All I can tell you is I didn't sense another's presence. Ah, then could it be that the gunshot actually originated from somewhere outside the room? Possibly. I'm getting kind of cold. I have this blanket. It's a like really old school Lion King blanket, and I think I need it a bit higher on me. Yeah, the Fifth Amendment. I have definitely heard that. Oh, it doesn't apply because it's British law. Oh, British law. And this game is just nuts. I wouldn't expect them to follow any laws. Alright. It's out of the question. Why? Oh. Without doubt, the sound emanated from inside the room. I could smell the gunpowder. Ugh. This is going from bad to worse. And you say that's the point at which you noticed the revolver on the floor. Correct, and I foolishly picked it up. That was carelessness on my part. Presumably then, the gunshot you heard came from the firearm that you somewhat hastily took in your hands. In point of fact, my lord, I believe it did not. What? The barrel of the revolver I picked up was cold, and there was no smell of spent powder. But then where on earth is the gun that was fired? Whilst I would like to oblige you with an answer, I'm afraid I can't. I too would dearly like to know that. Ugh.
Hold it!
A man, you say? One of the witnesses, I presume? That's right, one of the street merchants working on Frenzo Street. Who are these merchants? A number of them had set up their stalls directly beneath the boarded window of the crime scene. A match seller, a newsmonger, and a peddler. They've all given statements saying they heard the gunshot. Oh, interesting! I actually didn't even question why you knew this stuff. I just thought you were really into knowing about all the law stuff. Oh, that's so cool. Without the thought of danger, they ran inside to see what had happened. I would not be doing that. Yes, Gina told us about that yesterday, didn't she? They burst through the door with some force, it would seem. They did, and almost gave me a heart attack in the process. But you're supposed to be the Reaper. The first man to come in immediately noticed the revolver in my hand and fled. A policeman patrolling on Frenzo Street heard the commotion. I have a feeling... Well, actually, maybe not. I was gonna say, I have a feeling the police officer is gonna be one from the last game? Yeah. There was a cop in the last game who had a girlfriend, but I don't remember if he was charged for anything. But who knows? He might come back. He was able to arrest the accused shortly after the incident occurred. Anyway, the man's scream drew my attention in that direction. It was only then that the body of the inspector appeared before me. What do you mean by that? In what way did the body appear? I honestly can't explain it, but it's the truth. As far as I was concerned, the body hadn't been there until that point, and then suddenly, there it was. Did you perhaps hear the sound of the victim falling to the ground just beforehand? At that moment, what I heard was the sound of the door flying open and the scream of the man who came inside first. Nothing more. I see. After the man fled, I examined the body. I was stunned to find that it was Gregson. Most curious circumstances indeed. How the inspector was killed, or how his body seemed to appear out of nowhere, I have no idea.
Objection!
Okay. Surely the court has heard enough. My lord, the cross-examination has clearly revealed that the accused, Baruch Van Zieks, is lying on multiple fronts. Look at this music. Ooh. Okay, I love it. What is that supposed to mean? Good gracious, his wig is falling off. The defendant is lying, you say? In his testimony just now, he claims that he failed to notice the victim's body because the room was dark. I see. Then how did he see it later on? That's correct. No, that's impossible. As proven by this candelabrum. How does that prove anything? Oh my god, this music is so good. It's like a mix of the old Kazuma music with the Van Zieks music. I love it, I love it. Oh my goodness. If you examine the tip of the long candle, you can see it has been blown off by a powerful impact. One would assume that the projectile from the firearm passed through the victim and struck the candle. The problem comes when you consider the other two candles, which are clearly a different length. Yes, I can see that only the candle that appears to have been struck by the bullet is long. We could reasonably expect someone to have lit all three candles together, which begs the question of why only one has ended up longer than the others. That must be because the particular candle was extinguished when the others were still burning. Ah. That's right. When the candle was hit by the bullet, it obviously went out. But the other two candles would still have been burning, so the fact is, the victim's body would have been illuminated by the light still thrown by the candelabrum. And the accused's claim that he couldn't see the body clearly contradicts those facts. Oh, we got the hand. And now, the next lie. There's more? The accused also claims never to have visited the scene of the crime before. That's the truth. In that almost empty room, the police discovered something very unusual. A board covered from top to bottom in police documents and newspaper cuttings. Yes, that's right. We saw it too. It goes without saying that the contents of the police documents cannot be divulged. However, they included a number of reports from various historical cases. Hi Kat, how are you? Long time no see. How's it going? Uh, da-da. The oldest of which was from 10 years ago. 10 years ago? This is starting to sound familiar. And there is a common thread linking all the documents on that board. Not likely, Kazuma. The wind from the bullet would have blown the flames out. It has been too long. Oh, nice. You're enjoying summer vacation. Hope it's going well. Hopefully it's not too hot. Have you played Tears of the Kingdom? I've been playing it a lot off stream, so I know I haven't actually been streaming all that much. Okay, but so the candelabra, what I'm wondering is, would this be possible? Is it possible that if the bullet hit the one candle, that somehow it lit the other two? I don't know. I don't know. But then if it blew out the other candles, then why are they different heights? That I don't understand. I've been playing it way too much. It's so fun. I still haven't beat Ganon yet. I have done the 4 phenomenon, and I need to get more shrines done. But another, like, a really good farming sim came out this month. This month? Last month? It came out this month. And I've been playing that, and I've gotten back into reading, so I have a lot going on. And I'm playing Ace Attorney Chronicles. I have too many hobbies. Alright, what's the common thread? They all relate to cases prosecuted in court by Barak Ranzix. Okay, all of them? And furthermore, all those cases are ones in which the defendant was acquitted. Good lord. Interestingly, none of those defendants are alive today, because all of them have been sent to their graves by the Reaper. Ah. Oh no. In short, that dingy little room is the Reaper's secret hideout. His base of operations. The Reaper's hideout? And yet the Reaper would claim never to have been to his own secret hideout? Whew. It's entirely conceivable. Okay. Whether it did or not, we don't know. There's also a possibility that the killer could have relit the other candles. That's true. Or there's a possibility that they only lit 2 candles. But I don't think that would have happened. I don't know where this is gonna go. No one would believe that. No, the truth is we've been looking at this backwards. Oh my goodness. Kazuma's not biased at all. I was too addicted once it released. You beat it in a month. Oh my goodness. I think I almost beat it in a month. I don't know why. I get to the shrines and I'm like, I don't want to do this. And then I had like, I think I beat the phenomenon with so few hearts. And then now I'm like, I actually need them to fight Ganon. I gotta go do the shrines. But I'll definitely get back into it. But I don't know when. Also, planning a wedding, my wedding, very soon. I won't say when. So, I've been busy. But yes, I should. I think I got pretty far. I know I have the Master Sword too. And after I got the Master Sword, things got a lot easier. Backwards? Explain, Counsel. Inspector Gregson was investigating the identity of the Reaper. When he discovered the location of the man's secret hideout, he was killed. As I'm sure everyone can imagine, by the Reaper's hand. What? Oh, he's angry. Very well. I hereby state the current opinion of the court. Beric Bradzeeks is an outstanding prosecutor who has rendered great service to his country. However, it is with deep regret that I must concur with Prosecutor Asagi's contention that the defendant's testimony exhibits a number of stark inconsistencies with the known facts. Okay, we need another witness, please. All I've done is state the truth as I know it. Kazuma's done a brilliant job as ever. He's drawing on his experience as a defense attorney to build his prosecution case. And it's formidable. Oh yeah, the outfits. I think I started to find a lot more in the caves. So that was helpful. Also, my fiance, he like just is a Lionel destroyer and I think upgraded some of his best armor. And even he took a long time to be Ganon, so yeah, I don't know how well I'll do without wanting to touch a single Lionel. But I haven't like seen any spoilers from the Ganon stuff. So don't tell me anything. I'll get to it eventually. Hopefully soon so I don't ever see spoilers, but we'll see. Oh, nice. Okay, you'll submit the board you just showed as court. Blech. I can't read. You just showed the court as evidence. You still need to beat Breath of the Wild? Oh my goodness. I have beat Ganon in Breath of the Wild, but I haven't gotten all the shrines, side quests, or Koroks. But I did beat the main story. And I think I only had like a handful of shrines left to do in that game. I believe it to be fundamental in establishing the facts surrounding the Reaper's existence. Yeah, this is why they never testify. I mean, I feel like we've had the defendants testify before in this game. But yeah, it doesn't seem like a good idea. Oh, I know, there's so much side content. There's so much. Ba, ba, ba. Okay, let's look at this. Oh, a new witness. Okay. That would be nice. Let's see. There are details of a whole raft of cases dating back years on here, aren't there? This paper from 10 years ago is browning with age. Look. Out of interest, the most recent thing appears to be this newspaper cutting here. Oh, it's the same Red-Headed League advertisement that Mr. Sholmes had picked out. Do you remember? There was a red hairpiece at the scene, too. Was Inspector Gregson an exponent of the Red-Headed League then? Okay. Looks like all this is one thing. Oh. I knew there'd be something behind. Oh, that's so creepy. Ah. What's this? Mr. Oro, look. Ah, yes, it's a smudge of some kind. In fact, it looks just like a handprint. And the color. That's blood, isn't it? It's always blood. How disturbing. Yeah. That is very disturbing. Okay. I think I need to read this one more time, just as a refresher. The late Ezekiah Hopkins. There's now another vacancy open, which entitles a member of the League a salary of £4 a week for nominal services. All red-headed men who are sound body and mind, above the age of 21. Okay. Interesting. Okay. Okay, let's see who's a new witness. Witnesses who saw events unfold on the day in question. They were mentioned in the previous testimony too, if you remember. Yes, the street sellers who heard the gunshot and went running into the room. Very well. Lead the witnesses in. The defendant may step down from the witness stand. Certainly, my lord. We know this guy! So, witnesses, state your names and occupations for the court. What? Is that his lip? Names? We don't use names. Far too fancy for the likes of us. We're just free and easy. Sell what we like. Live where we want to live. I give them all a vacant stare as they walk down Fresno and spin a few words into a verse for them. So this guy was in the case. He was the... Is it a chariot? No, they called it something else. Omnibus? He was the omnibus driver to a very strange murder. Oh, is that a Sherlock Holmes story? The man with the twisted lip. Oh, that's such a cool tie-in. Would I be right in assuming that all three of you make your living by selling wares on the street? Hey, everyone calls me Gossip. I sell jaunty little tidbits to passers-by, you know. Jaunty little tidbits? Got an absolute smasher for you, sir. Right up your ginnel? It is? Oh, that's so cool. The Red-Headed League. Interesting. I didn't know any of that. 6 pence is the price and not a penny less. Wait, you're actually trying to sell it to me now? Oh, come on, sir. Don't tell me you're not interested. Try the man. Give him the money and see what it is. Pay the man, counsel. Alright. 6 pence it is. You won't regret it, sir. Now, got your listening ears on? Just between us, a young couple on Slate Street have just had twins. Is that it? No, that's not it. It's gossip, isn't it? It wants to spread. But that bit's up to you in your mouth, of course. I've got more, you know. Want another juicy one? 6 pence a piece it is, if you're curious. I am curious, yes. About what's going on just under that fat bottom lip of yours? Namely that unusual bruise or whatever it is poking out from under your collar. I didn't even notice that. What about the next witness then? What name do you go by and what do you sell? Me? I'm Venus. That's what everyone calls me. Funny, isn't it? Oh, firecrackers! I sell these lovely little fireworks to all the local school kids. Oh! No! Why? Don't light that in here. What's happening? Oh, okay, it wasn't that bad. You weren't exaggerating with little. Did they actually sell? Oh yeah. The second years can't get enough of my Venus firecrackers. Especially when I tell them that if they get 100, they can blow up the school. Oh, not the most savory of ideas, young lady. What did you say then, eh? You want to part with this 6 pence for a pop? Wait, what? You want me to buy one? Tell you what, I'll let you in on a little secret. If you get 100 of them... No! 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 Why are they encouraging me to spend my money? Even the judge... Oh my goodness. They did let her in here with unregulated explosive. Why is he buying one? Lovely stuff, right then. This is something a bit extra just for you. The Venus special. Only 600 pence. 600? It's 100 of my regular fireworks. Nothing little about that, is there? And there'd be nothing little about the punishment if I blew up the Old Bailey either. Okay, but... Oh, maybe this is the gunshot we heard. Let me inspect this, hold on. Have you had an idea, Mr. Norono? You're staring at the end of the string of fireworks. Sorry, it's just that it's the Venus special. I was wondering what 600 pence worth of fireworks would sound like. Shall we find out? What? What? She said it could blow up the courtroom. Alright, that was a fairly sizable bang. My ears are still ringing, Mr. Norono. It sounded almost exactly like a gunshot. Okay. Alright. Lots of evidence. And the last witness. What name do you go by and what do you sell? I am a thinker, me. Think all sorts of thoughts. I think, therefore I am. I am, therefore I think. I think. Poor guy. Because I stand there on the street, watching the world go on about me. They call me the observator. Okay. Get out of it, old man. Everyone calls you Sandwich and you know it. Why? So you don't actually sell anything? A problem shared is a problem halved. As they say, I give advice I do, and think what it means. I don't actually sell anything, no, come to think of it. It says hot? Hot what? Pity. Yes, he's the omnibus driver, right? In the case with the rich guy, and then the guy died in the omnibus. I remembered him right away. No more purchases today, please. Well, we have quite a cast here, it seems. They conduct their business on Frenzo Street from morning until night, my lord. And always in the same place, directly adjacent to the crime scene. I see, and thus they heard the gunshot, I suppose. Not only that, but they very bravely ran inside to see what was going on and witness the crime. Well, I be beggared, I thought, just between us. Venus de Milo, what am I to do? What a terrible thing I saw. What I think is, if all what we see is light and shadow playing with our eyes, is any of it real? Very well. The court will hear the formal testimony of these three witnesses now. You will describe in detail what you witnessed and heard at the time of the incident. I have a feeling the guy on the right maybe was put there on purpose to observe something. That's just like a gut feeling I have. We saw the whole thing from start to finish, we did. Everything from the moment they went into the building. It was less than a minute after the Reaper had gone inside that we heard a big bang. Seems to me that quick to talk is quick to walk. Gossip couldn't wait to go and see what had happened. I ran into the room and there he was, the Reaper, gun in hand, standing over the dead body. I was scared half to death, me, so I ran off to find a copper. Okay. If these witnesses were there the whole day and saw everything, who did they see going inside the building? Only the victim, Inspector Gregson, and the accused, Barak Van Zieks. I've seen pictures of that Reaper in the paper. I know what he looks like. And just between us, folks love stories like this. I've made myself a tiny sum already. Wait, the room was just one of several flats in the building. Someone from another flat could have done it. All those flats on Frenzo Street are unoccupied. Of course they are. They're small, damp, dirty, and expensive to boot. The room in which the inspector was found is the only property in the building that's currently leased. And we know the leaseholder's name, don't we? It's Hugh Boone. The testimony the court has just heard would appear to leave little room for doubt. It's becoming increasingly difficult to see how anyone other than the defendant could have committed the crime. No. Thank you for your candor, my lord. Counsel for the defense, you may proceed to cross-examine the witnesses. Yes, my lord. In a closed court like this without a jury, the judge is the only person whose opinion matters. I have to break down this testimony somehow. Okay. We saw the whole thing from start to finish, we did. Everything from the moment they went in the building. When you say they, who do you mean exactly? Inspector Gregson and the defendant, Lord Van Zieks? I suppose so. The likes of us don't know the names of the high and mighty. But I'll tell you one thing, it was the old Reaper that went in last. That's for sure and certain. Just behind Inspector Gregson. Did they arrive at the same time as each other? No, not at all. The first fella must have gone inside a good 15 minutes before we heard that gunshot. The victim arrived 15 minutes before? Are you sure about that? Am I sure? Am I sure? Does it seem likely that I'd forgotten a fellow with bright red hair like that? Does it? Okay, so the wig is Gregson's. Yeah, his hair were really red, weren't it? Redder than my flaming fireworks, even. That fiery red mop still burnt on the side of my eyelids, it is. Wait a minute, you're saying the man was a redhead? Weren't you listening, chum? Aye, he was a redhead, and he had a big trunk with him as well. But Inspector Gregson's hair isn't red, not by any stretch of the imagination. Seems likely that the person you saw wasn't in fact Inspector Gregson at all, but some other third party. No, I hate to break it to you, but the witnesses are correct. What? Oh, not the photo. These photos make me so sad. Have a look at this photograph of the victim taken at the scene. Poor Gregson. That's Inspector Gregson, alright. And a red hairpiece. Ah, of course. Look at this photograph. One thing though, in that photo it looks like the wig, well, it looks like the wig is in blood, but the one that we found wasn't. But I don't know, maybe it's fine. I don't know. We saw one on the floor when we were investigating the scene, didn't we? I still refuse to believe Inspector Gregson wore a hairpiece, though. So then why on earth would he have been wearing something like that? The color doesn't seem to suit the man, one might say. The photograph will be submitted as evidence, please, counsel. Okay, I don't think it's actually touching the blood. Oops. This one. It is in the blood. But then what we found, it doesn't have blood on it, but it's also a red wig, so we might not be able to see it. And what became of the trunk that the red-headed victim was supposedly carrying? I was informed that no trunk was found at the scene. So it just disappeared? Would you expect us to have been watching the building every second, do you? We definitely saw him in the dock going in through. No question about that. It was less than a minute after the Reaper had gone inside that we all heard a big bang.
Hold it!
By which, presumably, you meant the gunshot. I sell these little things, don't I? How can I know what a gunshot sounds like? But I've always thought it probably sounds a bit like this, doesn't it? And you say that you heard the noise almost as soon as you saw the defendant here enter the building? That's right. It was almost straight away. Bang, it went, just like that. Well, he's the Reaper, isn't he? It's what the French call fait accompli. When the Reaper's around, people are going in the ground. I mean, that's what he does, isn't it? Think we get the message. The Reaper couldn't allow the inspector to live after he discovered his secret hideout. There could be no clear motive for the crime. Yes, it's certainly an eminently credible motive. Great. And at that point you ran inside, is that correct? I might try to present something. Oh, no. Okay, good night, cat. Yeah, it must be pretty late for you. Enjoy the rest of your evening. And enjoy Tears of the Kingdom. If you still have, like, side quests to do. No, I'm trying to go backwards, not forward. Okay, I'm gonna just try saving here. Gotta save scum. I just want to try presenting the fireworks.
Objection.
Okay. We'll pretend that never happened. Yes, and save scum we trust. Okay, so I need to press here now.
Hold it.
So when Gossip ran to see what had happened, did you go too? Well, me, I'm a bit hampered, see. All the signs are that I can't move very well. You were way behind, presumably, with that sandwich board around your neck and that big sign in your hand. What a great burden you bear. Pardon me for asking, Mr. Sandwich, but is it possible you and I have met before? I'm not anybody, me. The signs are what make me who I am. Now, I sign, therefore I am. So you weren't employed as an omnibus driver just under a year ago then? He is shaking like a leaf. I might be mistaken, but I believe his trembling has intensified, Mr. Naruto. Yes, I agree. He's clearly been through a lot. Turn down King Henry Street and the Black Widower's Arms is just there. Oh dear, you've made him hide behind his sign. Life is full of surprises. Okay. I ran into the room and there he was, the Reaper, okay. So then, you were the first person to arrive on the scene, is that right? That I was. Kicked the door open like a professional, I did, and yelled out, "What's going off in here?" Lord Van Zieks claims all I heard was a man scream, though. And was it dark inside the room? No, not dark at all. There were candles burning on the wall. Really? And there was a fella collapsed on the floor. Just between us is the first thing I noticed when I got inside. But he would have opened the door and seen in like the door was blocking him, no? Okay, even though Lord Van Zieks claims not to have seen any such lights on the wall. The next thing I noticed was someone standing right beside the body. The accused, Baroque Van Zieks. That's right, the pale-faced Reaper himself. I was a little shocked, I won't deny it, but I'm no lily-livered coward. I stood my ground. Oh, and gave that Reaper a cold, hard stare myself. Okay, I gotta push space.
Excuse me.
Excuse me. Do you have something to add, Mr. Sandwich? I wish I remembered his name. There's really nothing to me. Empty in the head I am, just 2 slices with no middle. So I don't know what you could want with me. I think that maybe you just remembered something? Cece empty in the head? No, she has a brain. It's about this small though. Just a little tiny brain. Cece was so cute today. She cuddled beside me for most of the day. It was nice. Having heard Mr. Gossip's latest statement, or last statement. What I think is, we're all nothings really. We try to dress ourselves up as something else, but at the end of the day, we're all just street sellers. That's enough out of you, Sandwich. Keep your trap shut. No thoughts, head empty. His head is not empty. He's hiding things. Unless you want us to make you into a real sandwich. When he saw the Reaper, he fell clean over on his backside. Ah, Beepo! Is that actually it? I feel like I don't remember that, but I also remember it at the same time. That's it. It's Beepo. That's such a cute little name. Oops, I didn't read that. 1 sec. He screamed. Hold on. You rotten beggar. I told you to keep that a secret. Okay, why? Why? He screamed, he scrambled on all 4s. That's what I wanted to say. Mr. Gossip, is this true? The floor was dead slippery. That's why. Planted my hand in a filthy pool of blood, didn't I? Yuck. Oh. A pool of blood? Well, listen here. Even when I was sprawled on the floor, I still kept giving that Reaper a cold, hard stare. And don't you forget it. Let's just go back a little. Did you say you got blood on your hand? I did. Happens to the best of us at times, doesn't it? So I was scared, so I slipped over. We can keep it just between us, can't we? No, Mr. Gossip. I'm going to have to ask you to add that information to your formal testimony. Oh, if I must. The witness will amend his testimony to include the aforementioned details at once. Okay, so I think I know what to present here. Wiped it off on the floor. Of course you did. Of course you would say that. Why would you say that? This one.
Objection!
So you wiped off the blood from your hand on the floor of the room. Why would you lie about that? Are you quite sure about that? Well, what else do you expect me to have done, eh? Does it really matter?
Objection!
The police found no such handprint on the floor during their investigations. What exactly is the defense? If you listen, listen, Linda, you'll find out, Prosecutor Asagi. Certainly, there is no bloody handprint found on the floor. What are you trying to say? There is a handprint in blood left very clearly at the scene. The sass. I know, he didn't give this sass to Van Zeeks. I love it. On the back of this notice board. Ah. Ah, yes, indeed. Indisputably a handprint in the distinctive color of blood. Ah, you're dead right. That's my right hand. I'd know it anywhere.
Objection!
Does the sign say actual hero? The witness very definitely testified that he wiped his hand on the floor. Sassy Bruno. Any handprints on the back of the board are irrelevant.
Objection!
Not if the board itself had fallen over onto the floor. In that case, it's quite possible for the witness's handprint to have ended up there. Oh, that could have been the bang. Just look at the floor plan of the room. The notice board was in the opposite corner of the room and to the victim, and in an upright position. Even if it had somehow been toppled and was lying on the floor at the time, it would have been a considerable distance from the body. I fell over when I came across the body. Look at this diagram. I was basically right next to the corpse, not on the other side of the room. In other words, the defense's assertion is contradictory. Yes, it is. There's a very definite contradiction here, for which there must be a reason. I take it that you formulated a proper hypothesis, Counsel? Oh! Okay, so maybe the board was hiding the body and it had fallen over. That was the bang, and that's when it revealed Gregson. Okay. Clearly the board is the killer. True. Can you arrest an inanimate object? Regarding this apparent discrepancy between the witness's account and the handprint found at the scene, I have, my lord. This discrepancy between the witness's account, the board moving? I think that's my best bet. The real contradiction here is the handprint itself, not where it was found. As the court can see, it's upside down. Good gracious, so it is. If the witness had put his hand against the board, the fingers should be pointing upwards. What does that tell us? It tells us one simple fact. When this handprint was made, the board must have been lying on the floor as I previously suggested. Not even the same scum. I'm pretty confident. And I think the music confirms. Which means that after the incident, it must have been moved. What?
Objection!
You're claiming that somebody moved the notice board after the shooting? Then tell the court who. I don't know who. I don't know that yet. But the point is, when you consider all the testimony we've heard so far, we can now be very clear on one point. And that would be the position of the notice board at the time of the incident, my lord. So, counsel, I must ask you to clarify your assertion for the court. At the time of the incident, where do you maintain the notice board was situated? I am going to save here because sometimes the positions can be really finicky. And I'll be like the slightest bit off and they'll be like, you're so stupid. Why are you even a lawyer? Okay, so... I feel like somewhere here? I'm gonna try this. Because then if the door was open, maybe a bit closer, it would have been blocking him. Even if it was closed, it might still have blocked and been blocking the candle.
Take that!
I hope that works. Please? Goodness? No, I'm afraid I don't quite see your logic. I'm disappointed. Okay, I don't... In Japan, we're taught to have patience and respect for our elders. So, until his lordship sees your logic, you will know your place and not move from that spot. Oh, okay. Hold on. You guys, that never happened. Never happened. I know, right? What a roast. I was like, this roast is too good. Maybe I did get it right. Okay, so maybe the board was actually, like, near the door. No. we'll try like over here. Oh,
Take that!
I don't know. You saw nothing. Exactly. Oh, okay. So we were just a little bit off. Immediately adjacent to the doorway. If the court would think back to the testimony given by the defendant earlier. What is that emote? Oh my god. Yeah, he didn't see anything. He said that when he entered the room, it was dark and he couldn't see the body. Eck. If the notice board had been here, the body would have been completely hidden from view, and the light from the candles would have been blocked, making the room appear darker.
Objection!
But the accused also claims that the victim's body simply appeared before him. That's true. Or in his precise words, just as I picked the firearm up to examine it, the door flew open and I heard a man scream. It was only then that the body of Inspector Gregson appeared before me. I don't know about calling it a scream, but he was talking about me and no mistake. Because it was me that kicked the door open. If you look again at the floor plan. Oh, okay. That's not where I expected it to be. But okay. Okay. Consider what would happen if the door to the room was thrown open with force. That can't. The door struck the notice board, knocking it over and making the victim's body visible. Good gracious. My client has told nothing but the truth. He has simply described what he saw. Okay, but I feel like if the board was there, how would he have not have seen like a glow of a candle? Like Van Zeek's. Strange. Okay. Counsel, how has this not come to light before now? After the incident, somebody must have righted the board and moved it into the position where the police, myself, and my colleague saw it when investigating the room. Is something hidden over there? He's literally a prosecutor. He should have known better than to pick up the gun, right? My goodness. Witness, what have you to say for yourself? What? Me, my lord? You and your fellows were there at the scene before anybody else. It goes without saying that you must know something about the position of the notice board. The witnesses in the stand will testify again. You will each explain exactly what you did upon arriving at the scene of the crime. Stop looking over your glasses at me. I get the message. The mystery of the moving board. I don't know anything about their notice board. I just wiped my hand on it, that's all. Well, don't look at me. I haven't got a clue about it. She's not even lighting anything. I was doing business with some second years at the time. I don't know anything about anything. I'm just a bystander, me. Just a sign at the crossroads of life. Who's that Reaper, I bet? He's got a face that screams bored. I can't see how this changes anything anyway. The detective still died when we heard the gunshot. Okay. Yeah, I think so too. So, none of you can elaborate further. Shaken by the crime they witnessed, and with only the light of a few candles and an oil lamp by which to see. We can't expect these witnesses to be able to give a more precise account of what happened. That's right, yeah. It don't pay to expect too much. It's man's endless quest for knowledge that's destroying the world. That's what I think. Do you really? In any case, as this testimony shows, even if the notice board was moved by somebody following the incident, it makes no difference. When the gunshot rang out, the accused was the only person at the scene. In short, the only person who could possibly have committed this crime is Barak Van Zieks. None of this wrangling over the board changes that simple fact. Poor Beepo, I know. Poor guy is so traumatized. Quite so, quite so. Does the defense still wish to cross-examine the witness despite the circumstances? Most certainly, my lord. Very well, then you may proceed, counsel. Why you say it like Beepo? Oh, is it Beppo? But Beepo sounds cuter. Beppo? Bepo? Beppo? Anyways. I don't know anything about that there notice board. I just wiped my hand on it, that's all.
Hold it!
So you admit that it was the board you wiped your bloody hand on? Admit it? What's to admit? It's there, plain as day for all of us to see. A smashing print of my right hand. Hmm? Let me just check. Oh, where did it go? Here. Examine. Okay, yeah, that is a right hand. What happened to his lips? He's got a twisted lip. Apparently it's a reference to Sherlock Holmes case. Sherlock Holmes case? There we go. Oh, I just realized that my my nail leaves are still pink from last stream. I want to change it. Ooh. I want to change it to green because I like green. Or maybe just like oops. Uh-oh. Turn it back on. I'll do a color burst. Ooh. There we go. Cool. Okay, perhaps you wanted to hide that handprint. So you righted the notice board and pushed it into the corner, did you? No. Imagine the weight of that great lump. Do I look like a powerful and well-nurtured man? Well, did you see anybody else moving the board? I've got nerves of steel, I can tell you, but even I have my limits. There was a body on the floor in front of me, and the Grim Reaper himself standing over it. And there was precious little light inside either. My bottom lip was all a quiver. In other words, this witness is unable to give definite testimony on that point. Yes, so it would seem. Okay, she was busy. I thought she was there. When you say you were doing business with them, you mean you were selling them fireworks? Yeah, what else? There's the Priory School just around the corner, see? Those cheeky little Nsosos have got a plan to blow their school to kingdom come. Oh. So I've been telling on them, letting their teachers know what they're up to. Oh, you have? Yeah, I wouldn't want anyone to get hurt. So I let the school kids know, or let the school know the kids are playing with dodgy toys. Then praise the Lord, the teachers take all the fireworks off them. And then praise the Lord again, the kids all come back to me and buy more. Everyone's happy, see? What a racket. What a business plan. Of course, and sometimes the teachers give me a little bonus to thank me for letting them know. It's a busy old life selling explosives. Venus is a guileful goddess indeed. Why would you... It's always the two of them saying something and then Beppo being like, aha. Telling barefaced lies is kind of my thing, really. I'm ever so good at it. great to know. Thank you for telling us
Excuse me.
that. Something wrong, Mr. Sandwich? If I said it was, can we just leave it at that? Would that be the end of it? No. Did Miss Venus's statement just now bring something to mind, perhaps? Philosophical thoughts. Deep philosophical thoughts. Huh? Let's say there was a great liar. And that great liar said, without batting an eye, telling barefaced lies is kind of my thing. I'm ever so good at it. Would those words of hers be a lie too? Or the truth? In which case she's not a liar. Oh, it's hellish. A hellish paradox, that one, don't you think? Uh-huh. I'm not entirely sure, to be honest. But it seems to be you're suggesting Miss Venus has been lying, are you? Yes. What are you on about, old man? Trying to cause trouble, are you? Keep on like that? And I'll wrap your whole body in firecrackers and set 'em off. Okay. That'll give you something to tremble about. Good thing she's telling on them, or she'd be charged as an accessory to the crime because she knew about it. Yeah, there's a lot that she is... There's a lot going on with her right now. Oh, you have a startlingly disturbing mind behind that sweet and innocent face, young lady. So Miss Venus has lied in her testimony. Is that what you're saying, Mr. Sandwich? Well, if it means I'll be burning in hellfire for the rest of my days, so be it. Yes, that's what I'm saying. Can you elaborate, please, sir? Old Blabbermouth here headed for the room where the gunshot seemed to come from. But there was someone else who crept up the stairs behind him, too. That's right. That rotten liar over there. Oh, she's gonna be mad. Do you mean to say that you did in fact betake yourself to the scene of the crime after all? What did I tell you, eh? I said I was good at telling barefaced lies, didn't I? Why would you tell us? Yes, you mentioned it. Well, that revelation rocked the whole courtroom, didn't it? Who knew firecrackers packed such a punch? So you did indeed visit the scene of the crime, did you, young lady? Good grief. Well, now you come to mention it. I suppose, perhaps. I do clearly remember climbing the stairs to the room. Yeah. This happens in every case, so like, now that you mention it, I remember everything. Either you clearly remember or you don't. Well, I shall consider a fitting punishment for this perjurious act later. Oh, perjury. Good thing perjury isn't a crime here. Yep. For the time being, you will immediately amend your testimony to reflect the truth. Oh yes, my lord, of course. Maybe I did sneak along behind gossip and have a little peek into the room where it all happened.
Hold it!
Now that you mention it, I saw the guy who shot the victim. Sorry I forgot until right now. That would make it a very quick case if she just tells us the entire truth. You make a habit of lying, don't you, Miss Venus? Well, I suppose so. I don't really know, to be fair. If you want my advice, though, I take everything I say with a pinch of salt. Alright, but you did in fact go to the room where the victim was killed on the day in question, didn't you? Oh please, as if I would. I can't think of anything more terrifying. The truth, please. Well, alright, just a bit then. I mean, a girl my age is curious about stuff, you know. Did you touch anything at the scene? Oh, please. As if I would. I mean, there was a dead body on the floor. The truth, please. Well, alright. Just a bit then. I had to look and see if there was anything I could sell. So I did give the place a once-over, but it was nothing to write home about. Right. Now, I hesitate to ask, but you didn't move the notice board by any chance, did you? Oh, please. As if I would touch anything like that. Just a few bits of loose change is all I had. The truth, please. Well, alright then. I thought there might be something worth having underneath it. So I blasted the flippin' thing. Sorry, flipped the blasted thing. Yes, she did just spark a match off her butt. Yes. You're telling us that you did move that board? I think that did slip out, didn't it? You're in love? Excuse me. Can I time you out? Don't say that. You're in love, but with me. She must like the feeling. How old is she? I guess... I don't want to know, but I'm gonna check. I don't want to know. We don't know. We don't know how old any of them are. He's so sad. Okay. Yeah, this lady's done a lot of things that are not good in a courtroom. Did you find anything then? Something that you might have taken, perhaps? To sell? Oh, please. I should be so lucky. He's mad. The truth now. I might have found this old pocket watch under the notice board, I suppose. But a bit of junk, but... Huh? So it was you, was it? You're the one that took it. Gina? Young lady, may I remind you where you are? That watch there, that was a present to Inspector Gregson from the yard for a big case he solved 10 years ago. She's very popular with the community. Oh no. Oh no. The professor case, no doubt. The boss used to wind it up every evening without fail when he was waiting for his grub to come to the pub. I see. I swiped it off him once and blimey was he upset. He gave me a right earful. Said he hadn't missed a day in the last 10 years, polishing it and winding it. It meant the world to him, that watch did. Possibly not the best thing to go diving for then. It's not all that though. I took it to Jabez's that night to ask how much it was worth, but the old dealer wouldn't touch it. Wouldn't give me a penny for it, said it wasn't working. Knocked about and worthless, he called it. Ah, I knew I shouldn't have lifted it. Can I examine it? That watch must be submitted as evidence at once. Oh please, just so long as you promise to give it back when we're done. Not a chance. I'll swipe it from you if you try to get your grubby mitts on it again. That's enough. Hand the watch to the bailiff forthwith. Now, children, watch your manners. Good lord. The glass appears to be broken. I was gonna say, what's inside? More than likely, it shattered when the inspector was shot. It doesn't tick anymore either. Which is why Jabez didn't want it. What a waste, eh? Yes, indeed. It appears to have stopped. Ah, at the hour of 5. Maybe that's the time of death. Exactly when the gunshot was heard then. Which supports the prosecution's claim, of course. Okay, but now we can examine it. Maybe there's something behind it? The glass over the face really is badly cracked. Look. Yeah, I just didn't really like that comment. What a shame when the inspector clearly looked after it so carefully. I imagine Mr. Sholmes could repair it, don't you? It's the golden rule. I know, but I know. Add-on possession and attempted sale of stolen property. Yeah. He's very adept at things like this. A useful man to have around, in fact. But kindly remember that he's a great detective, not an odd job man. Is that it? Oh? Oh? Oh! I know what this is. There's a tiny little keyhole here. Can you see it? I have the key. That's probably for the winder used to wind up the mechanism. It looks a little unusual, don't you think? She is on the hook for a lot. You need just the right key to wind it, I imagine. Why do I feel as though I've seen something? Something a bit like a key that's about the right size to fit in this hole. It would be wonderful if we had the key. Let's check carefully over what we've already found. I think I might have to examine it, the key again. What is this? There's a tiny little stub sticking out from this small hole here. Look. I suppose there must have been a little knob or something on that for setting the time. In that case, seeing as we know the inspector took such good care of this watch, it probably broke when the incident occurred, didn't it? Yes, of course. Which could mean that there's a small part of the watch still at the scene, maybe. Okay. Let's look at this. We have to twist the head off again. The helmet appears to be a little worse for wear. We've already opened this before, so I'm going to skip this. Appears to be some sort of key. It's tiny. Okay. Mr. Sato, do you think perhaps this key could be the key for Inspector Gregson's watch? Oh yes, it could be. Let's try it at once. There's not a moment to lose. I knew it. A perfect fit. And look. The inspector's watch has started going again. Ah, so it has obviously just not been wound up. That's all. What is it, Mr. Sato? Well, if the watch isn't actually broken after all, I have a feeling it could have profound implications. She's deep in thought now. Perhaps it'd be better... I'd better start thinking deeply too. Add-on... Oh. Threats. She threatened to wrap sandwich in explosive. Yeah, that was... scary, to say the least. Okay. It appears that the mystery of the moving notice board has been solved at least. And as predicted, it had very little bearing on the case. Ugh. Now then, continue with your cross-examination, please, counsel. Okay. I don't know anything about anything.
Hold it!
But you did go to see what had happened in the room, didn't you? Fresno Street is my whole world. It's all I know. And I know all of it. I have to make it my business to know if I want to hold my sign up high. So you did go to see what happened. It's not the destination that's important, it's how you get there, isn't it? Did you notice the notice board? Did you notice the notice board in the room? If you think about it, we're both the same species, aren't we? Both different members of the sign family. So if I had spotted it, I might have tried to trip it up out of a sense of rivalry, I admit. Someone really needs to tell you that you're Homo sapiens, not Homo signians. Okay. Does that mean that you didn't notice the board? I can only repeat what I said before. I don't know anything about anything. I'm just a bystander, me. Just a sign at the crossroads of life. Oh, borderline psychotic. Yeah, I would see that. In which case, just who was responsible for moving the notice board? I don't know yet.
Hold it!
He's got a face that screams bored. What exactly do you mean by that? Oh, come on now. Don't tell us you've not noticed. He looks like he hates everything in the world, that fella. But not notice boards. They're the one thing he likes. You can see it in his eyes. I can't say I'd ever noticed. I'll tell you one thing for free, though. I never took my eyes off that man on the floor. Or off the Reaper. Not for a second. How? Well, I was that scared. I couldn't. You never know what a fiend, not friend, a fiend like that might do if you look away, do you? If you didn't take your eyes off the defendant, you should be able to confirm categorically whether or not he was the one who moved the notice board. That I can. The Reaper did nothing of the sort. I can swear to that. Oh no. Without a license. Although, do we know she doesn't have a license? I assume she doesn't. I couldn't have missed it if he'd heaved the thing upright again and dragged it into the corner. Right. Glad we've cleared that up. What happened to the face that screams bored? I feel your pain, Kazuma. Can't see how this changes anything anyway.
Hold it!
It was 5 o'clock in the afternoon that you all heard the loud bang, wasn't it? Maybe the notice board fell over, or maybe it didn't. Maybe I fell over, or maybe I didn't. But the Reaper's fate is sealed either way because of that gunshot we all heard. So your fate's sealed too. My fate? That's right, the defense is fated to lose, and the prosecution to win. In other words, it all hinges on that single gunshot. Oh, hers have no labels? Watching this is like watching Florida court cases. This is probably better than that, I would say. If I could just find some problem with that part of their story. Wait. Okay. It may be possible to change all our fates. Of course. None of that changes the fact that I heard what I heard, does it? Okay. Not much to go on. As you pointed out. There's no question that the notice board was moved, so somebody must have done it. But it did happen after the event, so maybe Kazuma's right, and it's not relevant to the case. But it seems to have been deliberately positioned so as to hide the body from view. So I feel sure that there's some deeper significance to all of this. Yes, I know what you mean. I've no doubt there are more clues to be uncovered. You're on the right track. I can feel it. So follow your instincts. I don't have any instincts right now. Okay. Hers is the only thing that changed. I'm not sure what to present here. Yeah, her testimony changed. So I feel like I need to present something here. I'm gonna try the watch.
Objection.
I don't think it's it. No. No. Hand up means no.
Objection.
No. Wait. Hmm? No. Oh, the save scumming. Fireworks?
Objection.
Oh my goodness. Or maybe I had to get her to say that so that we can't find the watch, so we can present the watch somewhere else. Oh, okay, maybe it's here actually. I'm gonna try presenting it here.
Objection.
Ah, I took a minute and used my brain. I'm afraid that's not necessarily the case. Oh. At the scene, we found this key to the winder of the inspector's pocket watch. A key. And having wound the pocket watch, we discovered that it in fact still works. You see, the watch didn't stop because it was broken at all. And that fact completely undermines one of the most fundamental premises on which this entire case has been built. What? Order, order, order. But, counsel, the watch was stopped at almost exactly 5 o'clock. Yeah, which is just when we heard the gunshot. It is exactly the hour. The time that was showing on the watch tells us nothing other than when it wound down. It's merely a coincidence that it happened to be at 5 o'clock.
Objection.
Even I don't know where this is going. Even if that's true, the 3 witnesses here all heard the gunshot at 5 o'clock. So that's obviously when this crime was committed.
Objection.
No, that doesn't hold. Why not? Recall what Inspector Lestrade said only moments ago. Oh, because he could have died before 5. I got it now. The boss used to wind it up every evening without fail when he was waiting for his grub to come at the pub. Said he hadn't missed a day in the last 10 years, polishing it and winding it. It meant the world to him, that watch did. The victim was in the habit of winding his watch once a day in the evening. We can reasonably assume, therefore, that he wound the timepiece on the evening before he died as well. Yes, that would be entirely reasonable. But if that's the case, you wouldn't expect the watch to have completely wound down by 5 o'clock the following day. Oh. In summary, the evening before the day of the incident, when the gunshot rang out of that room, the inspector was already unable to wind his watch. You can't mean... What would stop a man winding his watch if he's been in the habit of winding it every single evening for 10 years? The obvious answer is that he was already dead. I know, I want to know too, what happened to the infinite fish and chips, and why didn't he die with them in his hands? Order, counsel, this is a most extraordinary claim.
Objection.
Extraordinary isn't the word, it's absurd. You claim he was already dead the night not the night before. Do you really think that Scotland Yard's coroner would have overlooked something like that? Well, on that subject, there is something rather surprising. Gina will inherit the fish and chips in Ace Attorney Chronicles 3, yes. There's actually an omission in the coroner's report. The time of death is not noted. Ah, that's right. Wait a minute, you're forgetting that my legs went from under me when I kicked the door in. What do you mean? Like I said, I planted my hand in a dirty great puddle of blood. Well, when was this game released? Was it that long ago? Could they potentially make a third game? That would be very nice. So the victim's blood hadn't dried, it was fresh. He catches on fast, doesn't he?
Objection.
But that blood can be explained in any number of ways. It could have been put there afterwards. Some fresh blood could have been poured over the victim. Doesn't my learned friend think that fresh blood is available on every street corner? Ooh, 2017. A third game got scrapped? Why? I need more. Well, it needn't necessarily have been human blood, of course. Oh. I've been told previously that Scotland Yard has no way to identify blood as human. Okay, but didn't... I was gonna say, didn't the witnesses see Gregson go in with the wig on? But I guess it's possible that someone went in with the wig on, put it on Gregson's head, and then left. Like the person with the trunk. We've been told previously that Scotland Yard has no way to identify blood as human. The problem is currently being researched. At present, you are correct. It is beyond our abilities. So then, a chicken's blood could have been used, for example. It's certainly a possibility that it wasn't the inspector's blood at all.
Objection.
But the gunshot was heard at 5 o'clock that afternoon. That's beyond question. Is it though? What? Given that the time of death of the victim has already been called into question, it isn't beyond the realms of possibility that what these witnesses heard wasn't a gunshot at all. Oh please, what are you trying to say? Us lot know what we heard, and it was a loud bang that came from that there room. Oh, okay. Okay, he's got his whip from his omnibus days. A street seller's ears are his livelihood. I don't doubt your ears, sir, but all you can state with certainty is that you heard a noise. Eh? Explain yourself then, counsel. A noise that sounds like a gunshot could have been made with, I'm not even gonna say scum.
Take that!
Something like this. The culprit could have set off one of these to fake a gunshot. Good gracious, the very fireworks that are sold by the witness? Now hold on a minute, are you saying I did it? My pretty little firecrackers only make a little pop anyway, see? Not 100 of them together. The Venus Special that you sell for 600 pennies sounds like this. Did we just set it off again? As the court can now attest, it sounds very much like a gunshot, in fact. You're trying to suggest that somebody set one of those fireworks off at the scene? I'm suggesting that somebody knew the defendant was in the room at 5 that day and sought to implicate him by creating a sound like a gunshot for these peddlers on Frenzo Street to hear.
Objection.
But even the accused himself has testified that he saw no one else in the room at the time. Whether it was a gun or a firecracker, the only person present to cause that bang was Barak Van Zieks. One whiff of a match and my firecrackers go pop. See? That's why people like them. I fear for your fingers, young lady.
Objection.
Recently, during my time here in Britain, I've learned of a very useful invention indeed. Something called a time bomb. Right. The first game wasn't well received? Really? Doesn't resolve anything because it's meant to set up the second game. Okay. Oh. They had to cram the content from both games, game 2 and 3, into game 2. Oh. I guess that does make sense. Because the best part of the first game is the third case and the last case. But then the last case has a huge cliffhanger, my goodness. Interesting. I'm sure they'll make more games though. Maybe not Ace Attorney games, but more good games. A device that allows you to blow up whatever you like, whenever you like. Mr. Naruto, I worry that your unfortunate phrasing there may lead to yet another international incident. No, wait. It's the whenever you like part that's important. A timed device? Yes, exactly. A timed device. Something of that nature could have been planted at the scene. Phoenix Wright 7? Ooh. I was gonna say I'd like to play that, but I don't know if I would want to play some of the other games. I know I haven't played the trilogy, but I've seen other people play the trilogy. And then I know there's some on the DS that I haven't played. Or maybe 3DS. Or no. I don't know. Nothing confirmed. Maybe one day. We'll see. A device that was able to produce the sound of a gunshot long after the culprit had left. Your extravagant claim will have to be substantiated with evidence, counsel. What proof do you have to suggest in any way that a timed device was employed to create the gunshot sound? Proof? Oh, true, it might have slowed it down. That would make sense. My gut is saying this. Phoenix wanna beat Coleman in court? What? What are you saying? Okay, a timed device. All I can think of is this candle, and I don't know. I don't know how, when, why, who, where.
Take that!
It's right! I knew it! I just had a gut feeling. I'm so proud of myself. It wouldn't be the craziest thing to happen. Can you imagine? As the court has already discussed, the tip of one of the candles in this candelabrum has been blown off. Indeed, because it was struck by the bullet. No. It's too high. What a gamer. Which presumably passed to the victim. I don't think that's possible, my lord. Not possible. Why? Because of the scorching. There are gunpowder scorch marks clearly visible on the broken candle. There are? Goodness, yes. But is it not the case that there was also scorching on the victim around the bullet entry wound? That's right, there was. But as we heard earlier, scorching like that only occurs when the target is at a very close range, a matter of centimeters from the gun. Ah. which means that the scorching on the handle can't possibly be the result of a gunshot. Or the candle. You're suggesting it came from the fireworks? How can that be? The fact that there's such visible scorching on the candle suggests that the fireworks must have been right next to it when they exploded. That's what I was thinking. Or to put it another way, the candle and firecrackers were joined together. Oh, okay, I didn't think of it like this. The culprit somehow attached the firecrackers at a point partway down the candle. After the killer had left the scene, the candle slowly burned down along with the other two, until eventually it ignited the fuse of the firecrackers, generating a loud bang. And that is how these three witnesses came to believe they'd heard a gunshot at 5 o'clock. Well, what a plot. And this implies that the victim could have died earlier than we've been led to believe. The previous day, even. Now just hold your horses. All us lot here saw the victim going into the building, remember? I couldn't forget that flame-colored hair, even if I wanted to. The person you saw entering the building wasn't the victim at all. Consider this. Obviously, anybody can wear a wig, so the person that these witnesses saw entering the building 15 minutes before the incident occurred could easily have been someone else entirely, wearing the red hairpiece. Someone else? Do you mean to say it was the same person who contrived the firecracker trick? In other words, Inspector Gregson's killer. It was an imposter. Oh, very impressive, Rinosuke. Kazuma? I'm really quite amazed you've come this far. But after all, wasn't I the one who told you that you had all the makings of a great defense lawyer? Now kiss. I also noted the lack of a time of death in this report, a stark omission. But as far as I'm concerned, this whole country's justice system leaves a lot to be desired. Okay, bold. Prosecutor Asagi, what on earth do you mean by that statement? I heard that many of the leading members of Britain's judiciary are present to observe this trial today, so we cannot allow even the slightest doubt to be overlooked. The defense's assertion about the time of death, based on the victim's stopwatch, is just conjecture. But while the possibility exists that my learned friend may be correct, we have a duty to explore it. Well, certainly. I would agree with you. And what immediately comes to mind is, of course, what was Inspector Gregson doing and where did he go on the day before the incident? Do you know? The inspector always carried out his investigative work alone. His movements were treated as confidential within Scotland Yard. Even within the yard? However, considering the evidence we've been presented with so far, I'd say it's fairly apparent what case the man was pursuing. Wouldn't you, my learned friend? I do have a feeling about what case he might have been investigating. Yes, I agree, surely. My lord, the defense believes it can explain to the court the case that was being investigated by Inspector Gregson at the time of his death. Very well, counsel. Present your arguments to the court. What evidence is suggestive of the case being investigated by the inspector? I want to say this, but I'm not 100% certain, so I will save.
Take that!
Yeah, I might be wrong. I might need to show the board. Wait, what? Hold up. Was that the right thing or the wrong thing? I can say that I find your answer suggestive of... Oh, I can't say that I find it suggestive of anything in particular, other than perhaps that it is utterly wrong. That much you have clarified most expertly. What? Congratulations, Rinosuke. Wait, what? You deserve a reward for that expert display? Okay, I got it so wrong that I thought I got it right. That hurt. Oh my god. Well, usually when they insult you, it's like not that dramatic. And this was very dramatic. I'm gonna try this one.
Take that!
I'm wrong again. Oh my god. Like here, this never happens. Okay. This is embarrassing. I was so confident. Oh no. On the day prior to the incident. Uno reversed by the game? Hold on, I want to look at this. The Red-Headed League. Maybe it has something to do with that. I'm gonna try this.
Take that!
Okay. Yeah, you guys didn't see anything. Again, nothing happened. We safe scummed. It's fine. Oh, I could have presented the wig as well, I guess. I believe this red hairpiece points to the answer. We might assume it was part of a disguise used to carry out an undercover investigation. Surely not. Such a brightly colored hairpiece would only serve to make the inspector more noticeable. Yes, that's quite true. It would definitely have made him stand out in a crowd. Except, that is, in a crowd of gentlemen from the Red-Headed League. The Red-Headed League. So, you'd already worked it out. What on earth is this all about? Is there such an extraordinary league of gentlemen? The Red-Headed League is currently under investigation for a grand deception. A deception of what nature, Council? They've been targeting red-headed men across all of London and tricking them out of small sums of money. 2 men were arrested for the misdemeanor. Oh, right. The 2 guys that were arrested in the last part of this, in the investigation part. My lord, the defense calls for those 2 men to be summoned at once. 2 redheads. Inspector Gregson clearly infiltrated the Red-Headed League using this hairpiece. It's all linked, no way! Oh, I missed. I gotta stop clicking so fast. It's very likely that he had direct contact with these criminals. It's quite possible that such contact led to more serious events. I concur that we cannot in good conscience leave this new avenue unexplored. Well done, Mr. Norono. Well, it's another possible line of inquiry for us at least. The prosecution will make immediate arrangements for the charged men to appear. Bring these... I swear, after I stream for 2 hours, I can't read anymore. Bring these 2 Red-Headed League conspirators before me. At once, my lord. Very good. We will have a 30-minute recess. Court is adjourned. You love these next witnesses? Yeah. I think they're the same guys that we saw. That was quick. I think I might listen to the redheaded people speak and then just kind of stop when I feel like stopping, because it's only like 7:40 right now. So yeah, I might play a little more. I assume we'll go to trial part 2. Yeah. You're ready for bed? Are you serious? Oh man. No, it's because we have to get up early tomorrow to go visit Cross. You're tired? It's not even 8 o'clock. But I guess, I mean, if you're tired, you're tired. What kept you, my dear fellow? Hello, Mr. Sholmes. Gina. You sure about what you said in there? That the boss, you know, actually died the day before? It's pretty hard to swallow. You didn't get your nap? But didn't you get a lot of sleep yesterday? I was shocked by the revelation too, Gina. As was I. Possibly more shocked than both of you. It's not a competition, Mr. Sholmes. But I was more shocked than all of you put together. This is the autopsy report in question, isn't it? Yes, it's strange that there's no time of death noted. I suppose there's a simple explanation, or perhaps it was a deliberate omission. Your body is failing you? Then maybe you should go to bed. Or you go hot tub. Oh dear, if it was deliberate, it puts me in a mind of the last case we worked on. Dr. Scythe. I know. Anyway, it seems that on the day before Lord Van Zieks discovered his body, Inspector Gregson was investigating the Red-Headed League, so perhaps something happened with them. Come to think of it, you had trouble with those League men too, didn't you, Mr. Sholmes? You were taken in by their trick. No. Naturally, I wasn't taken in, as you put it. My sleuth-hound interest was merely piqued slightly by the rare scent of a weekly £4 income. And that scent masked the underlying scent of deception, I suppose. The two criminals in question are the pair we saw being arrested yesterday, aren't they? In Mr. Sholmes' suite, I mean? That's right, Suze, and it was me what took him in. Thanks to a tip-off by a good, law-abiding citizen. Indeed, yours truly. So it's going to be that pair in the witness stand next, is it? Something doesn't quite make sense to me, though. The day before Inspector Gregson was found, you hadn't had trouble with the Red-Headed League yet, had you? Why would the inspector have been investigating them? Well, the likely explanation would be that Gregson's own sleuth-hound interest was piqued by the rare scent of a weekly £4 income. Don't tar with him with the same brush as you, Holmes. Yes, well, then there's the whole issue of Inspector Gregson being investigated by Lord Van Zieks for some reason. The Reaper, the Red-Headed League, Inspector Gregson, Lord Van Zieks, and Cosmo. I feel as though he knew we'd arrive at this point somehow. Gosh, I think you're right. What's he really trying to achieve here today? All the answers will soon be revealed. Observe the time, my dear fellow. This recess will be over very shortly. Yes, you're right. Cosimo was determined that he should be the one to prosecute this trial, and he was determined that I should take the defense. Just what is it that he's hoping to make me see, I wonder? I get the feeling we're a long way from the end of this trial yet. That makes sense. I feel like it's going to be a long case. Are you ready then, Miss Sato? Yes. In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby declare this court to be in session again. We resume the closed court hearing of Barak Van Zieks, here present, who stands accused of murder. Now then, Prosecutor Asagi. The Queen. I mean, this was in the early 1900s. It's not the same Queen. My lord. Have you summoned the witness as requested? Or the witnesses? Yes, 2 members of the Red-Headed League who planned and carried out the deception. They arrived not long ago from the local prison by police carriage. Very good. Bailiff, usher the 2 men into the courtroom. Pasta! That looks so good. These 2 men are currently being held by the police on suspicion of attempted extortion. You may omit your occupations, but state your names now for the court. Why omit your occupations? I am Fabian de Rosso, a descendant of the great Rosso family from Nice? It's pronounced Nice, right? In France. And my name is Peppino! Wait, someone said Peppino. Epic Pikachu said Peppino. De Rossi. I am the 3rd son of the great Familia de Rossi, the landowners from Napoli. Ah, the 2 men first became acquainted at a boarding school for European nobility. Those who graduate from Temsic are the future leaders of Europe. But don't you have any idea how boring it is to be born with noble blood? Alors, I make it my mission to get the better of the world by employing the little gray cells of my brain. That is all I'm trying to do. So, that's the only reason for this whole grand deception you've been carrying out? Oui, you could say that. Not bad, eh? He has the grand ideals, but the petty plans. The strange combination is the charm of the hilarious brothers. See, Capo? Listen to me, Peppino. I have 2 things to say to you. Oh, things. Oh my gosh. I was like, signs? Sings? What? Are you about to tell me one of your grandy anecdotes? Evviva! Firstly, I want you to stop calling me this Capo. And secondly, we're not the Hilarious brothers. This is serious business. Gee bello. There it is, the Capo's trump card. The furrowed brow. It is deep, eh, Capo? The furrow and the meaning of your words. This is gonna be tough to read. The court has been led to believe that under the banner of the Red-Headed League, you have conspired to swindle money from unsuspecting members of the public. Is this true? Oui, c'est ça. And what exactly was the nature of this deception by which you planned to defraud? Alors, I will explain it. No, Capo. Leave it to me. As you see, we both have the vivid red hair, no? At school, we were teased for this without pity. Capo here, he was many times behind the schoolhouse crying like a Trevi fountain. Those dogs, one day the world will respect us redheads. Every night he would bury his head into his pillow and weep. C'est bien, Peppino, enough. I will explain the rest. The first step was the newspaper advertisement. About 1 week before the plan was put into operation, we listed the same notice in every paper in London. Yes, we saw that notice. It was this one, I believe, entitled To the Red-Headed League. Oui, c'est ça. I'm honored that you've seen it. It states that the only condition for joining the league is having flame-colored hair, and that if you satisfy the interview panel and are admitted into the league, you could receive a weekly income of £4. On the date specified, red-headed hopefuls gathered in droves at a park specified in the advertisement, and from each person present, this pair took an application fee of 5 shillings. And with the money, to France. It was a plan most elegant, no? No, it was most dishonorable. But to be frank, I'm stunned anybody was foolish enough to be taken in by such an obvious trick. The park was described by one witness as choked with red-headed folks, like a coster's orange barrow. And the day on which all these men gathered to apply was the day before the victim was discovered. Crucially, these two men spoke face to face with every single person present that day. I've seen more red-headed people in one day than I'll see in the rest of my life. See. And now, every time I see the capo's hair, I feel sick to my stomach. Anyway. Why have we been summoned here today? They plan to flee to France to avoid prosecution. Not a bad idea. It's too bad it didn't work. The date for our trial was not until tomorrow, I was told. Naturally, neither of these men have been told any details about this trial. They've only been shown this photograph. Very good. So, Mr. Russo and Mr. Rossi. Oh my goodness. You will now give your formal testimony for the court on the subject of the gentleman pictured in this photograph. They were shown this photograph. Of course, we're always ready to help with the law. Okay, I'm gonna take a break here. We'll just let the music play. And I'm just going to use the bathroom really quick, and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. I just need a little break. Kotak Varsity Inn. I'm wondering if he's actually going to bed or not. I don't think he'll actually sleep, but who knows. Okay. So this is our testimony for a picture for some reason. We had more than 1,000 red-headed people assemble in the park on Lime Street that day. Memes aside, I totally get it. But I don't recall the man in this photograph. Hey, Capo? You're in bed by 9? I haven't gone to bed that early in a long time. Actually, I mean, I have been going to bed early, but it's because I just want to like cozy up in bed to read. But I haven't been sleeping early. I've actually been sleeping so late because I keep reading, and I got an e-reader and it has a night light. It's so nice. Okay, now I don't remember him. Obviously he is dead now, but I assure you he was not in the park. Alora, this victim is nothing to do with us. You have a lot to answer for, Peppino. It is your fault that we got caught in the first place. Oh. Okay. I need one with a light. Yeah, I used to have a really old e-reader that had no light, and I really liked it, but then I got a newer one now with night light, and it's even kind of nice in the daytime when I don't want to turn a light on and I just want a bit of a lighter page to read on. It's so nice. This one too, it's like a dimmer light, so I can brighten it or make it less light. I can dim it. An unprecedented move. I am usually asleep before Annie and wake up before her. Yeah. It's weird. It's weird. The tables have turned in our relationship. Oh. You've given sworn testimony that this man in the photograph was not present. Can you be certain? Oui. I am quite certain. We did not interview this man. Nobody looking like this came to the park. This I can promise. It must be noted that you have been arrested for a grand deception, however. Accordingly, this court has little confidence in your assurances. That blank face. With this attitude, we get nowhere, huh? He's really sulking now. The confidential document was obtained directly from Scotland Yard. It records an entry from the inspector's private diary dated the day before the incident. It reads, Lime Street, Red-Headed League undercover. Ah, I have the answer. Maybe there was another similar event in the park on the day in question. No. That is ridiculous. There's no question that Inspector Gregson was investigating the Red-Headed League. Which means it's quite possible that's when he was killed. Very well. The defense may proceed with the cross-examination now. Yes, my lord. Okay. The man in the photograph.
Hold it!
1,000 people. That's a very big crowd. It was quite a spectacle. Redheads had come from all over the capital. See, the capo here. He has the The what? Nobody else can attract so many people. If I could be born again, I would be the capo. All those people wanted was the money. Peppino. The 4 pounds per week. Animal magnetism. I've never heard of that, but I can assume what it means. Are you suggesting that you spoke personally with all 1,000 applicants? Oui. That we did, because every one of them paid us 5 shillings. We take their names and take their money, and we take their addresses as well. And then I tell them we take some days to let them know by post, and finito. Maybe 2 minutes a person? We start early in the morning and we stop late in the night. So you earned 5,000 shillings in one day? That's a small fortune. Who'd have thought there were 1,000 such gullible redheads in London to start with? one of whom was a great detective with chemically altered hair. Doesn't recall the man. He doesn't look at all familiar? No, I don't think so. And this is a wig, eh? He was trying to trick us. I do not like the people who are trying to trick the other people. Says the con artist. If between them they interviewed 1,000 people with red hair, it would be unreasonable to expect them to remember every face. No, no, senor. I may be small, but my memory is very large. I never forget a thing. Chocolate milk? That actually sounds kind of good. I feel like I want a dessert too, like something sweet. Something chocolatey. In my opinion, I do not think this man was in the park. But he's not going to give the court a definite, it seems. Hey, Capo, you didn't see a man like this, huh? No, I don't remember him, and obviously he is dead now. But I assure you he was not in the park.
Hold it!
But according to what you've said, you spoke with 1,000 or more people that day? Oui, that's true. My eyes were burning by the end of the day. Surely then, you can't actually remember every single face. How are you so certain that this particular man wasn't present? Normally, the red hair is very distinctive, eh? But not when you have 1,000 redheads crowding around. Then it's just an eyesore. But if there was some other information you could give us, then maybe we would recall. That is not the line, Peppino. Remember, we do not remember him. We are sure of that fact. Huh? There is a man with a red hairpiece, but his mustache did not match the color. Then I do not think I could have forgotten him. Kazuma said those two had only been shown that photograph and they'd been told nothing else at all. But what if I fed them just one other detail about the victim? His fish and chips. Honestly, I want to say the fish and chips. I'm gonna say first. I mean, you would never forget that about him. In his honor. I can certainly appreciate that just knowing the man had red hair wouldn't help you remember this situation. But what if I told you that the man was always munching on a packet of fish and chips? Do you remember a man who was eating incessantly? Not really. I was looking only at the heads of the applicants. I wouldn't have noticed the fish and chips more than the caviar and smoked salmon. Or spaghetti! Me, I love the spaghetti. Really? I had no idea. Tell them again what you said before, Peppino. Si, capo, si. I say it again and again. Okay, so... Hold on. Wait. He has infinite spaghetti. Exactly. I thought he would recall something. Hold on. I'm gonna try a different option. His name, his profession. I'll try his name. Yeah, the infinite fish and chips, now the infinite pasta. I wish I had infinite pasta, that'd be nice. But like a nice Alfredo pasta. That's my favorite kind of pasta. Or like a rosé that's... Oh, now I'm hungry. Okay, let's see if they know his name. The man in the photograph is a Monsieur Gregson? Yes. Names. They are boring. I did not listen to any of them. Oh, I thought they got all their addresses, no? Oh, it was not a real interview. It was just for show. Why would I remember the names? True infinite T? Yeah? Okay, I'll try the last option. See if that gets us anywhere. It's probably not gonna do anything.
Hold it!
His profession. What if I told you that the man in the red hairpiece was actually a detective? The man in the photograph, a detective? Yes. That was the one? I like the fish and chips better. I don't care that he's a detective. It would appear he found your notice in the paper suspicious and decided to investigate incognito. Sorry, but this... Oh, that was the one.
Excuse me.
Changes something. Something to add, Mr. De Rossi? See? I am always adding something. Parmesan, olive oil, pepper. What I mean is, did you agree with your friend's last remark by any chance? Or disagree? What did you just say about the detective? Yes, that's... Keep your mouth shut, Peppino. You have said enough already. But why, Capo? What's the problem? There's a man who said, I am an inspector from Scotland Yard. What? Good lord. Oh, he's on a box! Explain this bolt face in your testimony, witness. It's simple. A man was at the park. Oh. There was no such man. Mattia, what are you saying, Capo? Have you forgotten, eh? I have forgotten nothing. Nobody like this came to the park. Basta, Capo, basta. You beat me out of many things, but not two. The memory and the meals. Like I said, when it's time to eat at the pasta, no one is faster. But you are inferior to me in every other way, so shut up. Trap Tard, the damage is done. Indeed it is, sir. Oui. There was a man who came to the park, and he said he was an inspector from Scotland Yard. Peppino's still so happy. Just like, I did it, I told the truth. However, he looked nothing like the man in the photograph. He was someone else. It was probably, Mr. Vigil? How can you be so sure? Because, to start with, his face was completely different. See, it is true, the man who came was younger. His face was clean-shaven, his eyes were sadder, his chin was thinner. No resemblance whatsoever, then. Anyway, I was not going to be fooled. I took the obvious precaution and said to him, if you're really a detective, show us the proof. See, the couple here, he doesn't take a nonsense, eh? But he was well prepared. He said he had identification. Identification? You mean official police inspector identification? That is most unconvincing. Sorry, my lord? Counsel, no incognito inspector would offer his identification for inspection. It's quite out of the question. Definitely. Why would he expose his true identity? Clearly, the papers were fake. Certo, Capo, you are a genius. As we say in Italia, it takes a chief to recognize another, eh? And what happened after he announced that he was a detective? He became very annoying. He said you were under investigation. So, I took his papers from him and chased him out of the park. It was fantastico! And here, look here, it's the identification. So you stole it from the man? He had it coming. He made us very scared. But he was not who he said he was. Indeed, the person described does not appear to have behaved as a true inspector would. However, I believe it would be prudent for these identification papers to be entered into evidence. But I like them! Okay. Whose papers are they? Now let us return to the witness's testimony. Examine. How do I... Let's open it. Well, I suppose we should see what this inspector's identification looks like inside. Yes, it definitely looks fake, doesn't it? Out of interest, what name is given? Probably just something plucked out of the air. It's Tobias Gregson. Wait, what? The Scotland Yard insignia looks genuine to me. But how? And the department and identification number details are all correct as well. Since when have you known those? Do you mean to say... I know it seems incredible, but yes. I think it is genuine identification book issued by Scotland Yard. But that's unbelievable. This is the real thing after all. Okay. Okay, I don't think I can look at anything else. Okay.
Hold it!
Only have your word for that. See, but what else can we do, huh? True. We're not having much fun these days. First we are arrested, then we are shown the horrible picture of a dead man, and now you question every single thing we say. We are the victims here. Eh, Capo? No, you were caught carrying out a plot to swindle hundreds of innocent people. You had to bring that up, eh? It's not fair. Eh, Capo? You have a lot to answer for, Peppino. It's your fault that we got caught in the first place. I want to know more about that. What do you mean by that? Cavolo, you promised not to say, eh, Capo? After we had taken all the money that day, we should have left the country. That was my plan. I left the purchasing of the tickets for the ferry to Dunkirk, my companion here. Oh. But he bought them for the wrong day. Oops. See, but it's an easy mistake to make, huh? The 31st. Okay, I have no sympathy for you. We were a whole day late for the boat because of your stupidity. And it's only because of this so-called great red-headed detective caught us. Capo, you know what I think. This is the work of God. Is a holy punishment, eh? Peppino, for the last time, this is not holy punishment. This is wholly your fault. Don't blame God for your unholy mistakes. You're making me sick with anger, and he's so happy with his fork. Maybe I make a mistake, but when it's time to eat the pasta, no one is pasta. I can see why you guys like them a lot. They are very quirky. Okay. So I pressed on everything. What do you think? Well, if it was in the inspector's diary, it seems likely that he must have gone to Lime Street that day. And yet, these two both claim they didn't see him. I have to say, they don't appear to be telling lies. Well, they're experts in deception, don't forget. sounding plausible in their speciality. Speciality? Specialty. They may be lying simply to avoid being implicated in this case as well. Surely if they were truly experts in deception, they wouldn't have been caught. Well, yes, you do have a point there. It seems to me like we need more information. I definitely have that information. Okay. Huh. I feel like I could present this or this. I'm gonna try this.
Objection!
I wonder if I could ask you to examine this identification book very closely. Miss Lestrade? Why Miss Lestrade? What is your intention here, Counsel? Is this really a fake, or is it genuine? That's the question which we can't answer ourselves.
Objection!
Don't be ridiculous. No Scotland Yard detective would allow his or her identification to be stolen. Oh, she's angry. That is the boss's. No question about it. It can't be as I suspected. The undercover detective who attended the Red-Headed League's enrollment on the day in question was the real Inspector Gregson, carrying out an incognito investigation. It was Mr. Vigil, and he had already killed Gregson and stolen his identification. But if the boss had his identification stolen, he would have reported it straight away. I mean, he was always on at me about it. If you lose something, report it at once, he'd say. Could it be then that the inspector was physically unable to report it? Physically, what are you saying? Unable to? You're not suggesting. Yes, it's quite possible that he was killed before he had the chance to report his identification stolen. No. The defense posits that the victim was killed the day before his body was discovered at a different location. Do you two have anything to say about that? Oh, maybe. I never thought about that. I know nothing. I done nothing. Pull yourself together, Peppino. We'll do it. You can have a little more like a master criminal than that, no? I wish I had returned to Italia. Stop crying, Peppino, please. Otherwise... Stop your whining and start talking. Well, I believe the court will need to hear your story I know nothing. I done nothing. But you will tell everything, or face the worst possible outcome. Ugh. You will dry your eyes and testify again about these identification papers and the precise circumstances under which you came by them. For crying out loud. The truth is, we took him prisoner and kept him for the night at our secret hideout. Even though I didn't think he was a real detective, I was too scared to let him go that day, just in case. We took the man's identification from him and shut him in the room next to ours. There might have been a little tussle, but we did him no harm, and the next morning we let him go. He spent the night in a nice room. It was nothing like prison, really. Me and the judge have the same wide eyes right now. This is outrageous. You imprisoned the man? But no, it was not like a prison. He was a very comfortable and calm and happy. Hey, Capo? It was never part of my plan. I swear it. So you think it was my fault, eh? Just because I got the date of the ferry wrong? By one little day? I do not think it was your fault, Peppino. I know it. No, por favor, Capo, it's not fair. You should have plenty of time for squabbling back at the prison, gentlemen. I don't believe this. How could he have been a real detective? Counsel for the defense proceed with the cross-examination. So on the day before the incident, Gregson spent the night confined in this pair's hideout. I don't think it was Gregson. Okay.
Hold it!
Do you realize what you're saying? You have to believe me. I never intended for that to happen. And I'm sure the detective did not intend it either. Do you think... But there was nothing else I could do. See, nothing else. This was a first crime for the capo. He was at the end of his wits. I have told you before, Peppino, that's not the way to describe a criminal mastermind. What about this hideout of yours? An old, empty house behind the park on Lime Street. I rented the place for 2 days. It was an inspired idea by the capo here. An impulsive idea, I would say. No, not impulsive. Inspired. Eh, Capo? What am I supposed to say to that, huh, Peppino? And it was in the house described that you confined Inspector Gregson, was it? Ugh, you have to remember, I was under the impression that he was a pretender, not a real inspector. That doesn't quite add up, though. If you didn't think the man was a real inspector, there would have been no reason to take him prisoner, would there? No, you're right, but we couldn't be completely certain.
Hold it!
Too scared. Why? Because, why had he come to the park? We didn't know. There was a chance that he had seen through my plan. And if that was the case, he would go straight to the police station and blow the whistle on us. Even if he was just feigning to be an inspector, he was up to no good without it. I doubt. I think most people would agree that it's you two who were up to no good. Well, you may be right, ain't Capo? The point is, we were not able to escape from England immediately. That's why we had no choice but to take the man prisoner. What I don't understand is why the inspector felt the need to show you his identification in the first place. See, I asked myself the same question. We are writing down the names and addresses of all the people who we took 5 shillings from that day. I have forgotten what name he said, but the address, it startled me. Address, Scotland Yard. Homicide Division, he said. What? Probably didn't like your face, Peppino. Anyway, I was not rude. I just politely asked him why he said it. And that's when he started to say he was an inspector. Not long afterwards, he took out his identification. What was Inspector Gregson playing at? Tell the court what happened next. You took him back to your hideout, you say? See, we did. We took the man's identification from him and shut him in the room next to ours.
Hold it!
That being this identification book here, correct? See, that's the one. What made you believe that it was a forgery? I never seen a real one, of course. But he was so suspicious, this man. Allora, I was thinking it must be falso, eh, Capo? Oui. It is just as Peppino said. We were convinced it was not genuine. And so together, the hilarious brothers, we took the man captive. All we did was shove him inside a locked room. Then we made preparations to transport all the money. In for a penny, in for a pound. There might have been a little tussle, but we did him no harm, and the next morning we let him go.
Hold it!
What do you mean by a little tussle, exactly? It's nothing, just a minor incident. The Fossil Inspector, he was a real piece of work, eh, Capo? What happened? It was a disaster. We give him a nice room, and what does he do? In the middle of the night, he tries to escape through the ventilator. Can you blame him? We chased him, yes sir, and we caught him again. Can you blame us? Wait, you didn't shoot the man in your haste, did you? What do you think we are? Of course not. I simply caught hold of him again and took him back to the room. Hold on. With this button. There we go.
Excuse me.
Oh no. I almost don't want to know what they did. Me? Something Mr. DeRosso said seemed to make you, well, it seemed to make you act even more strangely than usual. What was all that about? Cavolo, at times like that, you don't want to have the capo after you, believe me. And I speak from personal esperienza. Personal experience? That is enough, Peppino. There's no need to say more. The truth is, the night before we put the Red-Headed League plan into action, I was scared. It was not fair to the capo, but I tried to run away. It's a shame you didn't manage it. But the capo here, he came after me like the turbine. And he dragged me back to the house, kicking and screaming. I still have the bruises to prove it, eh, capo? Bruises, you say? Oh. You wanna see, huh? You wanna see my fantastical bruises? That's enough now, Peppino. No one wants to look at any part of you. What to do, huh? I show you, or I don't. I show you, or I don't. We know someone who has bruises like that. Lord, if everybody wants to see, then I do it. You see? It's still very visible, eh? Yeah, Cosmo has had it. That red ring around your neck. You got that when you were dragged back to the house? See, the capo, sometimes he's very rough. I said that's enough. Peppino's neck is nothing to do with what we're talking about here. You have my word. Yes. What is your opinion, Council? About this red ring around his neck? I wonder, does it matter? It's important. Definitely. Mr. DeRossi, I'm going to have to ask you to amend your testimony with details about that mark on your neck. Hey, Capo, you see? Everyone is interested in what I say, huh? Oh. Very well. You will amend your testimony as requested, Mr. DeRossi. Cece, if you really want to know, he tried to escape. The capo put the collar on him. Oh, and dragged him. That's unsettling. Can I present people? I can't. Can't really see his neck. I think the only one Phoenix Wright lets you present people. Okay. Yeah, I guess it's like only certain times when they're like, give us a name. Okay, maybe I'll press on this.
Hold it!
See if that helps. Are you saying that red mark was caused by a big collar made from leather? A leather collar? Is this true, Mr. DeRosso? We had a St. Bernard at home when I was younger. It is a souvenir from that time, with a very strong chain. A strong chain? And you put that around your friend's neck? I'm sorry, I was so angry that he was leaving me alone. You did not have to tie the chain to the leg of the bed, though I would not have tried to run again. You didn't do that to Inspector Gregson as well, did you? Treat the people equal is the Capo's motto. Is the Capo's here's motto, eh? It's starting to sound a lot more like a prison all of a sudden. The Capo is a tough, but the Capo is a rough. It's good they're already being sent to prison. I shouldn't have done it. So, the following morning, when you released the inspector, he had the red ring around his neck, just like me. Peppino, s'il vous plaît, leave it now. Now you know, huh? The Capo here. You don't want to tangle with him, eh? For the inspector is not so bad. Okay, I'll try pressing on that. You took away the man's freedom. However comfortable you made it sound, you were still holding him prisoner. If you say that, then I say this. There's something that takes away our freedom too. The lack of money. So we are the prisoners as well, huh? All of us. No money, no freedom. This is the truth. It makes me mad, and it makes me sad. What can we do? Well, if you feel so disenfranchised, take money to court. Though it'll cost you, of course. Sure, he isn't wrong. But it doesn't excuse what they did. There you have it. You see, that is why we need the Red-Headed League, to fight for the justice. Perhaps he has a point. No, Mr. Naruto. All we did was give that man a comfortable place to sleep for the night. And you say it was a prison, huh? Perhaps he has a point again. Not again, Mr. Naruto. You should have heard him snoring. Mattia, if anyone was disturbed, it was us. Okay. Testimony makes me wonder about this pocket watch. Is that a clue? The one he treasured so much, apparently. If he was confined, but not restrained, as the witnesses are implying, he would still have been able to wind his watch. That's very true, yes. So didn't Inspector Gregson actually die while he was being held captive by these redheads? In which case, is it possible that these two young men are responsible for Inspector Gregson's... To be honest, I find that hard to believe. Perhaps we should try to find out exactly what happened. Very wise, Mr. Naruto, yes. Oh yeah, definitely kidnapping. I think I have to present something here. I don't know what to do. I know that I have to save Scum. I'm gonna try this.
Objection!
Hey, it worked. Okay, so the day before his body was discovered, Inspector Gregson was taken prisoner while working incognito. No, it was not like that. It was hardly a prison. It was an invitation to stay. It was homely. However you describe it, there's one glaring inconsistency that remains. What inconsistency is this, counsel? I would ask the court to look closely at this photograph of the victim, Inspector Gregson. I guess you can see his neck. You will see that there is no red ring visible around his neck. That makes no sense. It was me who took the collar off the man in the morning, and I saw the red bruises on his neck just like I have. Given that the mark is still clearly visible on this witness's neck, we'd expect to see bruising on the victim who was put in the collar more recently than Mr. DeRossi. Indeed. That is most peculiar. Yeah, I was surprised I got that right away. I thought I was gonna have to keep trying. What'd we tell you, huh? We say this from the beginning, many times. Peppino is right. The man in the photograph is somewhat different to the man we held captive that night. It was the gossip, I think. It would appear then that on the day before the incident, the man who visited the park on Lime Street posing as an incognito inspector was not Inspector Gregson at all.
Objection!
If that's true, however, how do you explain the inspector's identification? This is a genuine identification book issued by Scotland Yard. It's inconceivable that someone could have stolen such an important item from the inspector. The prosecution made that assertion itself. And we also know that the inspector had made a note about the Red-Headed League in his diary for that day, which surely means we can't divorce the two events completely. The inconsistency noted by the defense is most troubling. If it were the real Inspector Gregson whom these two red-headed gentlemen encountered, the fact that no bruising can be seen around his neck defies explanation. But equally, if they actually encountered an imposter, how did that person come to be in possession of the real inspector's identification? Does the defense have some plausible explanation, counsel? The whole thing defies explanation. It is for precisely these occasions that we keep meticulous notes in the court record, Mr. Naruto, because those are the facts, and the facts cannot lie. No, the facts can't lie. Even when they point to something so incredible, it's almost unbelievable. Well, my lord, the true identity of the person who turned up in the park for the Red-Headed League's enrollment is revealed by information in the court record, I believe. Good gracious. Very tantalizing, Mr. Naruto. So why don't you help us all to see whatever truth it is that you've apparently seen? Who exactly was this inspector that appeared before Mr. DeRossi, an imposter? Though it seems incredible, I admit, the undeniable facts point to only one thing. Since no bruising can be seen on the victim's neck, the person who these two red-headed men took prisoner that day cannot have been Inspector Gregson. In other words, your whole argument up to now has been a waste of time.
Objection!
Ouch. Waste of time? On the contrary, I haven't finished. What? There's no bruising on the victim's neck, so the question immediately posed next is, who exactly was the man in the park on Lime Street found to be carrying Inspector Gregson's identification? See, that's right. We tell the same story every time. Whoever this man was, the capo dragged him from a pillar to a post with the dog collar. Mon Dieu, Peppino, I was not so harsh as you say, huh? So, who was that false inspector? Who was he? Clearly, the defense has an idea about that. about the true identity of the man these two imprisoned that night. I must ask the counsel for the defense to elaborate post haste. Who did the witnesses encounter in the park, posing as Inspector Gregson? This guy. You can even see it in the photo.
Take that!
Goodness me. Isn't that one of the witnesses who was in the stand in this very courtroom earlier today? A nameless man whose only occupation appears to be peddling hearsay to passers-by. What on earth would a street seller be doing with the police inspector's identification papers? Witnesses? Is this the man or not? What has happened to his lip? Huh? See, this man is not for the Red-Headed League, eh? He's looking for the Twisted Lip League, no? Perhaps rather than making such a rash claim next time, you should bite your lip instead. It seems improbable, yes, but one undeniable fact remains. During his testimony earlier, I noted something around the man's neck. A red ring of bruising. What? The defense demands that Mr. Gossip be brought back to the stand. Bailiff, bring the aforementioned witness back into the courtroom. Immediately. A big old close-up. Oh my goodness. Well, I never. An undeniable ring of bruising indeed. And identical to that of the witness beside him. Now what's going on here, eh? I've always had this. It's a birthmark, isn't it? A birthmark, you say? I assume the reason you've been recalled to the stand has been explained to you? Something about an inspector again? But I'm telling you, you've got it all wrong as usual. You're denying all knowledge of it? Well, of course I am. Are you trying to kill me with all this nonsense, eh? Well, at least you'll have more stories to peddle back on Frenzo Street, won't you? Now we're going to need you to testify again. And you, Mr. DeRosso and DeRossi, I'm sure you'll cooperate, won't you? Do we have any choice? We are in a big trouble, eh, Capo? That's quite enough dilatory chatter. Proceed with the testimony. Okay. I think I need to end it here. I have a big day tomorrow, and it's been 3.5 hours. That's pretty good. I'm just gonna save. I feel like my brain and my emotions can't handle any more of this today. So, let's see. Oh, okay. Oh, we have a couple people that we can raid. Ooh. Bye, Epic Pikachu. Thanks for hanging out. I'm gonna just type these in the chat if you guys want to join a little raid. I am part of a stream team, so I think it'd be nice to raid someone else from the team. There are like 3 people streaming. It's hard to pick just one, but I think I know who I will raid. I'm gonna raid Bree. She's playing Disney Dreamlight Valley. And yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna play in this next, but it's been very fun. I always need breaks from this game. But yeah, hopefully within the next week or so. But yeah, until then, enjoy Bree's stream. And I'll see you next time. Oh, another investigation day. All right, exciting. Exciting. I am excited. Okay, I'll see you all next time then. Bye.